So look at all these boats right here behind me. Every single one of these boats is worth a lot of cash. I want you to think of every one of these boats as representing somebody who makes a lot more money than you. Look at it. Look at all the boats. Money, money, money. There's just money everywhere. And how do these people get all that money? I would challenge you to question yourself. Are these people that much smarter than you? And that's what I'm gonna be covering in this video. What is it that these people know that you don't? Are all of these people represented by these boats that much smarter than you? Or have you just been lazy? Or is there maybe something in your state of consciousness where you're sitting here and you're like, I just can't own the boat, it's too hard, this can't be me. Like, really, bro? Really, all these people are smarter and luckier than you? Really? Is it something in their state of consciousness that you can learn, that you can replicate right now? Lock in, watch the video, and let's make some cash. I'm an 8-figure coach. How many 8-figure coaches do you think are out there? Very rare. There's very, very few 8-figure coaches, okay? I'm an 8-figure coach. What do you think my thoughts are about all day? Is it about what I want? Do I just think, this is what I want? That makes me an 8-figure coach? Here's what Owen wants. Here's my seminar about what I want. I want. Right? It's funny as a joke, but what if that's all that I'm going to talk about all day is what I want?
You wouldn't be here.
You wouldn't be here. So, to be an 8-figure coach, where are most of my thoughts flooding all damn day? On you. On you. I think about you. I dream about you. I add value to you. I audit you. I know you better than you know yourself. I promise you. I know you way better than you know yourself. You might know specific things like your sister's birthday, but I know you so much better than you know yourself because I've spent my entire adult life thinking about how to help you. That's all that I do. I go to whatever length I have to help you. That's all that I'm thinking about. But not the bullshit that you say you want, but what you actually respond to. Okay, because that's the main key, right? It's like, well, you say you walk up to a girl, like, tell me what you want. They're like, a perfect gentleman who's 6'5". And it's like, yeah, but your last 10 boyfriends were like abusive drug addicts, right? So it's like, that's clearly not what she wants. So what I'm saying is, you have to understand other people, who they truly are, where they're truly at. So if I'm thinking about you, I can audit you. I have a general idea of what your life, like, I have an idea of how you wake up, how you feel, what your work is like, what that experience is like, how that's frustrating you, whether you're newbie or a hard case newbie, regular newbie, intermediate, advanced, super advanced. I know the areas that you're missing, right? I get it. I've spent time, when I'm out here meeting people in person, what am I doing? I'm gathering data. A couple of you guys, how long did I just talk to you two guys in the hallway right now?
20 minutes.
What am I doing during that time? What do you guys think I'm doing while I'm talking to you for 20 minutes in the hallway while I'm eating? Okay, please don't come up to me while I'm eating. I just happen to choose to do it. What was I doing selfishly for me?
You're learning about us and
I'm gathering data.
Yeah.
What do you have going on? I'm saying things to you and seeing if it resonates. What am I doing in this room? I'm saying things, I'm looking at your pupils, seeing if it resonates, I'm posting it, seeing how the audience takes it, learning about my audience. I'm participating in a conversation. I'm putting myself at the center of a larger conversation and building a tribe around that, right? So you say, I want to be rich. Have you put yourself at the center of a conversation using social media tools and made a tribe around it? Why not? I was not the best as the way that I am now when I started this whole thing. I was new, but I still put myself in the conversation, and then I got better the deeper that I went in. What do you think my rates were when I first started? Free. How many free infield trainings do you think I did when I started? Endless infield trainings for free. Of course I did them for free. No one was gonna pay me. How was I gonna learn? I paid to go be Mystery's assistant. I paid money to help Mystery run his programs. Oh, that's not fair. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. He gave me the blessing of having an audience to practice on. Much like if you want to learn how to play polo, you've got to pay for the horse, you got to pay for the mallet so that you can go get better at polo. If you want to become a better teacher, you're like, if any of you guys in this room right now said, hey, I'll make it, Owen, where you don't have to work, I'll run the whole event for you, I'd say no. You'd have to pay me money to be allowed to run this event. Not that I would even agree. There's actually almost no amount of money you could pay me. But let's say that it was like, you hit a certain price. I'm like, oh shit, right? The point is you'd have to, right? Because I wouldn't want to disappoint everybody that came to learn from me. But the point is like, at a certain point, Pay me $1 billion. I guess you could run the free tour, right? But, but it would take well into six figures to be allowed to be up here. So, right, because I want to practice public speaking and I want to get to know you guys. So what I do is I put myself at the center of a conversation. I learn everything that there is to know about that conversation, and then I build a tribe about it. Why do I do that? To add to you guys. Okay? So that makes it where you go, oh, I watch Owen's stuff. It's really cool. He changed my life. But what did I do? I just say, I took my focus off what I want, and then I said, how do I add to you? Okay? So the same way, take with, say, social skills, right? I have to be able to profile the kind of people that I would like to hang out with, to be friends with, to network with, to date, to work with, to make friends with. And I've got to understand top to bottom what they respond to. And I've also got to realize, and like I was saying earlier, that I'm not going to be everything to everybody. Wanting to be everything to everybody is more of that satanic taker mentality. I don't want to take any risks in my personality. I'm afraid to put anybody off. And instead what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be this generic little guy who's totally safe, who nobody disapproves of. And as a result of that, everyone's going to love me. Wanting everyone to love you, who is that about? You. That's about you. You're in your unhealthy relationship to approval. Needing everybody to love you or like you is a codependent relationship to approval. That's called codependence. Like, if I post a video and I don't have it and say someone posts a negative comment and that messes up my day, some random person I never met who's probably in a derp state in 99.9% of cases, if somebody posts a bad comment on the internet and I have a reaction to that, what does that mean about my relationship to disapproval? Why is that guy not allowed to have his opinion? Shouldn't that guy be allowed to have his own opinion of my stuff? Isn't that guy entitled his opinion? Right? We have a First Amendment. What's the First Amendment? Doesn't he have the ability to share his opinion? So if that's the case, that's his opinion. Why is that bad that he doesn't like you? Do you need everybody to like you? They don't have the right to not like you? They don't have the right to their own desires and wants and dreams that may include someone who's not you? Why can't it be okay that maybe somebody doesn't want to watch a long, several hour self-help rant? Can't that be okay? Yeah. Right? No. Everyone has to watch it, right? Yeah. Forced. Can it be okay that not every girl wants to date a balding ginger in a wheelchair? Can't that be okay? No. I demand my right. Okay? Like when I sit down, I have a special table for wheelchair. Where's my date? My wheelchair date. Luckily, I have found that. So it's like, for future reference, I had a ski accident. I'm in a wheelchair now. So basically, no, you can't have a healthy relationship to you can't have an unhealthy relationship to disapproval. Caring too much what people think, it means you're codependent. You're making that about you and your emptiness. I am empty, and I rely on everybody affirming me to be okay with myself, rather than just allowing other people to have a different opinion. You guys ever see people online that don't like my stuff, and they're like, oh, I watch Owen stuff, it sucks? Yeah. Why is that bad? Can't they give their opinion? Do I have to answer that and defend myself? No. Do you guys need me to do that? No. Would you like it better if I did, or do you think it's kind of weird? Imagine you woke up in your phone one day Owen finally responds. And I'm like, this guy's lying. He's a fucking liar. Well, and you'd be like, well, who would that be about if I made a video like that? Who would that be about? You. So it wouldn't help you, right? See, do you want to know the one defense to always having a successful business when you have haters? Just keep making it about the client. The guy who makes the hater video, who's the hater video for and about? Himself. So he'll never be popular, ever. He'll always attract lead customers that are negative, that resonate with that. So he'll have the worst refunding broke-ass customers. So he's cultivating the wrong list, cultivating the worst list you'd ever want. And then in addition to that, he's making videos about himself. I'm better than this guy. So if you want to have defense against people who don't like you in the media, what's the solution to that? I mean, have you guys ever even met anyone that's had more haterade thrown at them than me? Ever? If you've been following me since early 2000s? The book? You ever read the book? I mean, how haven't I not committed suicide by now? Think about that. Remember the book?
What book?
The Neil Strauss book.
Yeah.
I got a New York Times bestseller, like #1, 200 pages trashing me. Okay? No joke. This is real. You remember the media fiasco in 2014? Yeah. How have I not killed? Because you know these people's goal is to make you to kill yourself, right? Of course. They want you to just pull out a gun and blow your fucking brains out. Why else would they be doing it? That's what they want. They're trying to kill you. They want you dead. They hate you. But that's their right. It's still your right to not kill yourself. I don't need to read some crazy book and off myself. I mean, someone makes 200 pages of a book attacking you. I don't know what else they want. It's kind of sick and demented. So if somebody else has a personality disorder and they're deranged in the head, and that's the kind of energy they want to put out, is that about you?
No.
So is the solution to that for me to commit suicide? Is the solution for that for me to think about that a lot?
No.
How about the solution for that would be to spend all that time that I could spend blowing my own brains out or being mad about it and get out of thinking about myself and how I look, focus on you and how you look and you and what you want, and then go make, I've done over 100 million in sales. I've done over $100 million in sales out of my mouth. What number am I going to wind up at before I die if society holds together and I don't get killed or something? Where am I going to wind up? Will I crack $1 billion? Of course. So your choice is commit suicide or get $1 billion. One is think about yourself, commit suicide. The other is think about others, get $1 billion. What's your choice? What's your choice? Right? That's your choice. One is heaven, the other is hell. Thinking about yourself is hell. Thinking about others is heaven. Adding value to others is how you get to heaven. Focusing just on yourself is how you go to hell. Here's why. Because at some point, your little wants and needs go sideways. It's too focused just on you, and things don't go well. As long as a man is focused on his sons and daughters, nothing will ever get him down. Because he's like, this doesn't affect my kids. Who do I care about? Dylan, who you guys met yesterday. Tristan, Vincent, you guys. The women who I date. My staff. Society. I care about that. So because of that, what does that make me into as far as obstacles coming my way? What does that do to me? Turns me into a fucking battle tank. You become a human fucking battle tank. No matter what gets thrown at your ego, you don't care. You're a piece of shit. Okay. My kids are fed. I hate you. Okay. I'm trying to help society right now, so you can hate me all you want. I love you too. I love you and I want to help you. Well, I hate you. Well, I want to help you. Yeah, but I hate you. That's your right. I honor your right to hate me. I love you and I want to help you. What's it say in the Bible? Love your enemies. Yeah. Love your enemies. Hey, I love you. I want to help you. Well, I hate you. Okay. But I love you and I want to help you. So what does that do for you at a core essence level? Aside from empowering you to make hundreds of millions of dollars, what does that do for you at a core essence level? Because the money ain't shit, to be honest. Frees you. Mental freedom. Real freedom, right? Real freedom. So, look, it's nice to be able to buy a car or a house, but that is nothing compared to that freedom. So, you have to begin to think about what other people want, what other people are looking for. Take the focus off yourself. So what that means is that you want to have a healthy relationship to giving, but also a healthy relationship to receiving. But here's the key with receiving. Are you receiving so that you can be better for others and continue to move the energy around? Or are you receiving for the self alone? So, for example, organic food is expensive. Comfortable sleeping accommodations can be expensive. A massage, a sauna can be expensive. Some nice things for yourself can be expensive. Well, who are you buying those for? Is it so that you can do it just for yourself? Or is it so that you can do it to spread the energy around? So you can spread the wealth. If it's just for you, then you're going down the wrong path. But if it's something so you can be better for everybody, you're on the right path. Now, sometimes you should do something just for you. Sometimes you kind of poke your head up, you take a breather, you go, you know what? It's my turn today. This is my day today. I'm doing something today for me, just for me. I make no excuses for it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to receive this. It's going to be fucking beautiful. This is for me. You know, I had a beautiful, beautiful girl I was having sex with all week. That wasn't for you guys. That was just for me. Okay, I had a great week. That gave me a lot of energy to come on this trip so I could be here for you guys. Thought of bringing her, but you know. Yeah, so I did that for myself. That was fun. Now I'm here for you. Sometimes I say, no, this is my moment. Let me enjoy my moment. But that is very, very different from living in a perpetual state of urge fulfillment. Me, 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 it's me. It's me. It's me, 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 me. Stop that. Get out of your little smallness. Become bigger. But sometimes you say to yourself, you know what? There's something for me here too. Now, the funny thing is, by that point, you have so much fucking money that you can do what you need to do for yourself. Okay? You can do what you want to do for yourself. So your ability to do something for yourself actually exists. You actually can do something. Now, when I say getting out of your head, we covered a lot of marketing content today. Did you guys see how the marketing content that we covered was basically an art form of getting into the psyche of somebody else? Marketing at its core is getting into the psyche of somebody else. It is a healthy relationship to giving, but also you charge money. So it is also a healthy relationship to receiving. What is the main key to having a product that you'll feel good about receiving for? What is the main key to it? It should be a product where whatever that person spent, they got at minimum 10x the value. Minimum 10x the value. So if you charge somebody money for something and they buy it and they're in tears by the end of it of gratitude for you and they're thanking you for selling it, that's when you're on the right track. Okay? So you create something beautiful and amazing to help other people. Or maybe what you did is you made something relatively cheap, but you mass scaled it and you helped other people to save some money and to get some basic thing they need. It doesn't always have to be this inspiring thing. But on some level, you're adding value, okay? So whenever you see me doing sales, I kind of have this look on my face, you might have noticed it, of when people don't buy something for me, it looks like pity. It looks like I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. In my Canadian accent, I'm so sorry. So the reason why that is because I've built something that I have no problem being like, hey, check this out, check this out, check this out, check this out, because I built it to help them. So build something that will help another person. Then learn how to connect to them using the kind of marketing advice that we taught you here today. So notice what I've done is I create social media assets that are all about you. Then I've created free trainings like this that are all about you. Then I've created inexpensive programs that are all about you. Then I've created high ticket programs that are all about you, all of which are meant to get a high ROI, okay? So that is me spending my time on you. Now, likewise, when I go out to a club and I'm meeting people, there's people that I'm attracted to that are there, I have in-depth knowledge of, like, I know who I want to meet, I know what their psychology is, I know the kind of people that they want to meet, I know the kind of invitations that they want, I know the kind of social media profiles they want to see, I know everything. Top to bottom. That's all threaded in, but in a way where I'm being myself. You don't need to be somebody else, but what you do have to understand is that you're carving out a niche. I didn't build this for the whole universe because you can't please the whole universe. You can't be everything to everybody. The closest to that I could get was when I used to have multiple instructors. Remember when I'd always have like 10 instructors of every type of personality? I actually built those out. I built those out because I was like, I want to try to connect everybody. That was fun. I'm in a different phase of life right now. I haven't worked much for the past 5 years because I want to be there for my children. I want to travel and see the world. So I'm not as focused on that. Maybe I'll build that again or something even way bigger, probably something a lot bigger. So back in the day, I could sort of fulfill that by having multiple different voices. That's fine. And maybe you could do that in what you're doing. That's up to you. Maybe you make multiple creations. But you also want to make a creation, or whether it's a coaching or a creation or a product, that's for a specific person. Niche down. The only way that you can do things that appeal to everybody is when you mass market things at scale, usually using venture capital and having connections for distribution. And then basically what you do is you do mass advertising campaigns. And unless you're BlackRock or something like that, you don't have those kind of funds, okay? Your David versus Goliath moment, your sling is niche marketing. You're not going to compete against, $1 trillion fund. Okay? They can go create this generic product and put it on every damn street corner and load it with advertisements and pay celebrities to go on there and advertise it and all that kind of stuff. They can do all that kind of stuff. That's not in your ability set. So that, you could maybe get to that point someday. But that's not your ability now. So your ability now, if you want to be successful, is you should be sitting there thinking here's basically how it goes, okay? The first thing you do is you audit what your natural personality and strengths are. You do a massive, massive, massive audit. Massive auditing. Massive, massive auditing on who you are. You've got and like for me, I can name 20 different things saying who I am, but I've got to drill down to the densest particle of who I am. Who I am at my densest particle is not a master of infield training and master infield skill set. It is not a master public speaker. For me, what I am at my core that makes me the most unique is I do not have a fear of death. That is what makes me different from every other speaker. I don't even believe that I'm really here. That is what makes me so different than every other speaker. I don't think this is real. What's that? Thank you. Yeah, none of this is real to me. Yeah, none of this is real to me. I don't believe in this. This is not real. So as a result of that, I will communicate with you in a very, very, very different way, coming from a very different energy source than any other speaker. I don't give two craps about the stuff that I teach you, in case you didn't know that. Why would I? You think I really care about any of this at all? Not in the slightest. I could give two shits that you don't have what you want right now. I actually like it. I think you should suffer. I like that you suffer. What do you think I care about? I care about your soul. This is like we're in some dream for 5 minutes. How much do you care about this sound? That's how much I care about this. But I know that I can't reach you. So I try to reach you where you're at. So knowing that this, but the problem is, this is here for you to elevate. Here's the thing. Let's say that we bypass life right now. Bypass the whole experience. Well, if all that matters is my soul, why don't I kill myself? If all that matters is my soul, why don't I just skip all this and jump in front of a car? Because you're fucking here, motherfucker. You're here. So I'm here to help you with what you're supposed to learn and what you're supposed to go through, but you need to understand, I've had almost every urge that I ever wanted fulfilled. It's empty as 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 empty. It is infinitely empty. Okay? You will find that people who have tried to find salvation in making millions of dollars, crazy dating life, crazy parties, all that kind of stuff, they will become very, very, very elevated in their thinking over a period of time because they realize there's nothing there. But here's the thing. There's two different levels of nothing there. There's these fucking liars, these lying pieces of shit that are lazy, do nothing, and they go, oh, there's nothing there. They believe they're in a higher state of consciousness. They are not. They are in the state of consciousness of a homeless person. Okay, no. See, beating the game is like this, okay? Here's didn't beat the game. Here's did beat the game. Didn't beat the game. I don't care about any of that stuff. Could I borrow $5? Beating the game is, I need an extra $5 mil. Done. Anyway, I don't care. Beating the game is, I want to date 2 models tonight. I don't care. That's beating the game. Beating the game is, I want to take 5 years off and travel. That was fun. That's beating the game. Not, I can't get money. I'm too retarded to learn how to make money, but it doesn't matter. That's not beating the game. Because what is making money a function of? Making money is a function of how much you help others. So if you can't make money, what does that mean? You're not helping others. Yeah, Jim Rohn. That's all it means. You don't care about others. You're a selfish piece of shit. Okay? Broke people, in many cases, are selfish pieces of shit. But redemption awaits. And the cleansing fire of hell can cleanse them of that. Stay in pain long enough. Stay in that loop of just thinking only of yourself long enough, selfishly. And you snap out of it one day, you go, I'm done. I am fucking done being a selfish piece of shit. I'm done. I hate this. I fucking hate this. I don't want to live like this anymore. I no longer want to live in hell. I'm done. But you know someone's still hooked on hell. I know someone's still living in hell. When I do an event like this, I go to take a piss. They go up. Now, I've been talking for 4 hours, voice all beat down, not using speakers in the room or anything, because I want to show you pure form public speaking, not like these fucking bitches that need speakers. Okay, real pure form oration, which means mastery of projection. Looks a little weird at home like I'm yelling, but here you see that I'm using projection and skill. Okay, funny how it works, right? But at home it just looks like I'm yelling. So the thing is, I go to take a piss, guy walk up to me, hey man, I got a million questions. It's so cool that I have you here. Like, I've been on stage for 4 hours, bro. Can I bring down my cortisol for 3 minutes so that I can relieve the piss out of my bladder and so that my voice can swell down so that I can go do another 4 hours for you? No! I have a question. Me, right? What does that tell you when they do that? It just tells you, it tells you that they're just thinking only about themselves. They're not able, they don't have that abstraction thought process that says, this man has been on stage for many hours. What would it be like for me to be on stage for many hours? All they're able to do is their mind is in hell, and all it's able to do is to formulate an urge. I have an urge. An urge. Now, what the sixth satanic system does is it feeds those urges. Want sugar? Take some Gatorade. Take some Coca-Cola. Want energy? Sure, we'll give you caffeine and high fructose corn syrup. Right? It's feeding, but then when the person consumes it, they get addicted on it. It lowers their prefrontal cortex activity, and then they're more in that animalistic consciousness. That's the system you're in, by the way. That's the system that you're in. You go get sick, they teach you nothing about how to help your immune system. Nothing. They themselves are sick. Maybe getting sick was meant to teach you something. Look, I'm not here to give you medical advice. I'm an individual. But maybe there's something to learn. Maybe you became ill. Maybe there's something to learn. Maybe you go, what did I do the past month? What's my contribution to this? No, just make me feel better. I have urge to feel better. Doctor, make me feel better. You think that you could be sick and just be made to feel better? You think that's a thing? You think that's a thing? That's like a thing? You get sick, they give you a pill, and you feel better, and there's no consequence to that. You think that's a thing? Not you, but like, people think that's a thing. Right? It's like, I'm broke. Then the government just fixes it. That's a thing. That's like a thing, right? That's not a thing. There's something in life called a pendulum. All you did was you just wound up the pendulum, right? It's like, you borrow a bunch of money, you go in debt, pay interest on the debt, national debt. You're gonna pay. You're an ounce of pleasure for a pound of pain. Look, there's some value in the modern medical system. When I got my leg broken, they went in, did a surgery, fix it. I'm not saying to deny help from a doctor in some cases. I'm just saying, maybe think a little bit about how you're treating yourself. The answer for illness is don't get it in the first place. There's already a cure for most of these problems. It's called don't get them. It's like if I run behind on payroll. What's the cure to not running behind on your payroll? Don't go in debt. So the hell that we're in is not meant to just be relieved. You're meant to sit with that. You're meant to sit with it. It's meant to be a cleansing fire that shows you that your state of consciousness is evil. Pure evil. Me, it's me. Now again, I did clarify earlier, there's a point where you say, no, I'm doing something for me right now. This is my moment right now. Like, you guys see me later when I've been public speaking all weekend, and I'm just sitting there just glorying in what a beautiful seminar that we did, and I say, hey, I'm done. I'm giving myself a moment now. You come up to me, what do you think I'll say? I'll just look at you and say, take a mile moment now, brother. I will not apologize for that. I'll make no apologies for it, and I will have a boundary as much as an iron gate. That is my fucking moment. Fuck off. Okay? It's not the leech off Owen time anymore. This is me to say, I sat there, I read a beautiful seminar. People come up and be like, where are you going after? Where are you eating after? I just spent 2 days with you for free. I gave. Let me go sit alone and be like, that was fucking amazing. That was so cool. That was so cool. And just sit with it. Maybe I'll go to the spa. Maybe I'll go have a nice meal alone, quietly. For me. Okay? But that's not me living in a perpetual, this perpetual state of, me, all day long. That's me giving and then saying, I need to let my brain neurotransmitters replenish. I need to let my throat swell down. I need to let the inflammation in my body come down. I need to mentally process what I just did. I need to go review the footage. I need to take a day off. And you better believe we're here in Charlotte, I'm going to go to Wilmington, Charleston, Savannah. I'm going to see the area for me and for my children. Now, while I'm there, I'm going to try to help others in the sense that I'm going to be present for them, give them really good eye contact. People that I meet out, I'm going to listen to them, and I'm going to send them good vibes and send them love. But I'm going to relax. I'm not going to sit there running around all day trying to service a random person in Charleston. I'm going to take a moment for me and my family. I'm going to gather my energy. My next event is in Atlanta. And I'm going to go and I am going to fucking smash Atlanta the way I smashed it here. And then I'm going to take a bit of time off. And then I'm going to smash the Nashville event. I'm going to take a bit of time off. I'm going to smash the Portland event. I'm going to take a little bit of time off. I'm going to smash the Seattle event. That is called a healthy relationship to giving and receiving. So I'm in a giving-based mindset. But why do I also receive for myself? What am I doing when I'm receiving for myself? What's the outcome? Is it just that I need it? I just need to go to Charleston. I just need to.
Recharging the battery.
I'm recharging the battery. What am I going to do with that?
Put it back in.
I'm going to give more as well. Okay? Now, in knowing that, some of you guys are going to come on some of my trainings later this year. Some of you guys signed up. Thank you. Knowing that I have a healthy relationship like that to myself, what does that tell you I will be like when you come on the training? Ready to go, energy, and I've handled myself so that who can I focus on now that I've got right with me? Who then can I focus on? You. Okay, so if you're not right with yourself, it's hard to be right with other people. But notice it's kind of a loop. Are you guys seeing the paradox here? So if you just go me, what happens? It's a paradox. What happens if you just do that? What happens? Do you ever actually get right?
No.
Why do you never get right? Because you're fucking broke, you can't get laid, you can't get a date, you can't get a girlfriend, you can't get shit. You're another selfish piece of garbage that nobody wants anything to do with. You're toxic. You're radioactive. Most people are radioactive. You ever seen a homeless person walking down the street and they're just like, fucking shitting, fucking shitting, fuck you, like that? They're just looping on themselves. They're the small me. They're living in hell. This is all biblical. It's all in the Bible. They're just living for themselves. So some of it is mental. It's a combination of, could be, they got abused when they're younger, potentially. Could be genetic too, but in many cases, abused when they're younger, puts them in trauma. The trauma makes them think about themselves. Well, what's the first thing that you want to do when you think about yourself? Drugs. What's the most awesome thing that someone in a selfish mode can do? Drugs. They take the drugs, makes them more insane. They get more selfish, life sucks more, take more drugs, get abused more because they're out in the streets, further trauma because horrible things happen to them in the streets, more trauma, take more drugs, more selfish, more me, take more drugs. Now they see goddamn demons. Their energy shield's been worn down. There's actual, in my opinion, just an opinion, demonic entities actually attached onto them, speaking through them. They're demonically possessed. But people, even in regular society, are lightly demonically possessed. So it's the derangement of the mind. Look, I'll tell you another weird thing. I run a beautiful, beautiful movement that's focused on helping other people. And again, we help ourselves too, but it's focused largely on helping other people. I have seen it to where people have come in my organization and really stabbed collectively the organization in the back. And I'm like, do you understand how many people we're trying to help? Do you understand the good things that we're trying to do? Like, why would you hurt that? Why would you hurt that for everybody else? Like, I'm not saying I'm perfect or some fucking saint, but largely I'm trying to help people. Like, 98% of what I'm thinking is trying to help people. And yes, there's a 2% very selfish part of me too. But the 98% of me that is trying to help people, that is largely like, yeah, I do some selfish shit, like everybody does. Sometimes I like to wank it, okay? Just leave me with some hand cream and I'm having a party, okay? Sometimes I think, dumb, selfish shit. And that's called being a human being. But aside from these like moments that I could have that maybe I'm not even proud of, that could happen anytime, the wanking I am proud of, but other moments I'm not proud of. Well, I'm putting 98% of my effort to helping people. And they see that, and then rather than trying to help that organization so people can continue to get help, they selfishly make it about them, even though they're already getting paid hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, getting everything handed to them, fame, money, everything, and they can't just let that roll. They risk fucking that up for everybody, fucking that up, and they do it for themselves. You want to know what happens every time somebody does that? They go insane. I have categorically watched every single person that ever did that go insane. They are no longer the same person. You'll see them, they switch. I've asked friends about it, like what they think. One of my friends think that they were like that all along, and just that the mask dropped. That's always who they were, but the mask dropped. I don't think that's true. I think they had a fundamental transformation, similar to just a movie, of course, but in the prequels of Star Wars, where when Anakin Skywalker goes and kills the baby Jedis, and then when he commits that act, he's crossed the Rubicon, he's now invited a different energy into his soul, okay? And so there's certain things that you do, you gotta understand, I would never, ever, ever kill somebody, not just because I don't wanna hurt somebody else, there's a selfish reason. What do you think happens to you spiritually when you kill somebody? It kills your soul, and you perhaps spend the rest of your life repenting, but man, you are in trouble, okay? So when they say don't do wrong to other people, that's not like this like sticky, syrupy, nice thing, okay? I have one buddy who recently, he was in financial bad straits, and I invite him to my home just to try to help him. No other reason to try to help him. I try to make a little excuse just to get him there, to invite him there. He came, he stole a bunch of stuff, and I still continue helping him on the phone. He's ashamed of what he did, so he won't call me. But I still keep helping him on the phone. Why do you think, and he sold maybe 10 or 20K worth of stuff for me. Why do you think I don't care that he sold 10 or 20K worth of stuff to me? It's what I told you earlier. None of this is real anyway. It's all, guys, do you guys realize that the vast majority of people watching this will be after I'm dead? And they'll go, holy shit, it wasn't real. Hi from me being dead. They're all dead too. Hey, dead people, say hello to the future. Turn and say hello to, say we're all dead. We're all dead, say it. We're all dead. We're all fucking dead. Right? That'll be a great clickbait for the mainstream media. I'm like, then the Kool-Aid comes in, right? Okay?
First zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. So, okay, but I mean, think about it, right? Like you could watch old Jim Rome videos and everybody in that room is dead. So that'll be us. We'll be dead. This just goes by, guys. It's like 2 seconds. It's 2 fucking seconds. What does it matter that somebody, maybe he needed it. Maybe he needed it. Maybe he's got a demon running him. Maybe there's a person that I love under that demon that I just want to take the demon off of. Maybe he didn't do it. Maybe the demon did. So my goal is to get the demon off my friend, not to judge my friend. And in the process of taking the demon off him, what do I do for me? I help to keep the demon off myself. Okay? So that's why we say help your enemies. So giving and receiving, okay? So basically having a healthy relationship to giving and receiving. But you'll see that when you do things, if it's just for the self alone only, it's not this thing where it's like, oh, be nice to people and blah, blah, like all that kind of stuff. And by the way, a big thing that a lot of people think is that the common view is that religion is for social control. And there is some elements of truth in that. So they're like, oh, like religion was almost like the social credit score with all the cameras in China, but before that existed, right? It's almost like you put a shaming God into someone's head who will be like, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet the neighbor's wife, and that kind of stuff as a form of social cohesion. Okay, fine. Maybe there's elements of truth in that. Of course, allowed for a lot of Western society to be built, but let's just imagine that there's something beyond that. What is this whole giving and receiving thing doing? It's the flow of energy. In other words, when the flow of energy is moving in a healthy way, I will only refer to myself. I have not been sick since 2012. Not sick since 2012. What's going on there? There's got to be something. Not sick since 2012. I'm just an anecdote, not giving medical advice. I do not get tired from work. Doesn't happen. People keep saying, you have all this, and you know what's so frustrating? People who I've worked with over the years, they're like, well, you're just Owen. And they always want to make me out as this like freak of nature who just has this magical inborn ability. Somehow, some way, I have some ability. I have this ability. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. And by that, I mean to the demon on your brain. That is not an inborn fucking ability. I was not born with that. I cultivated that. That is a state of mind. The taker mentality is burning you down. It sucks from you. It takes from you. It makes it where I can't even invite you to my fucking party. I can't even invite you to a party because I can't trust you not to be in that mode. And you know what's crazy? Nothing changes till energy moves. So yes, the 5% of your brain that recognizes that being a leech is bad knows that you don't want to do it, but when the energy hasn't moved yet, it activates. The energy activates. So unless we've cleared the energy, it activates, and then you see that thing that you want, you go, That's why parties are mad cool. A vetted party is one of the most fun things that you could ever go to, because you have people, because the hungry don't get fed, right? A vetted party is people that are in, depends how well you vetted it, but ideally it's vetted for cool people. What does the word cool mean? That's kind of a random word for like someone who's like high status, calling them cool. Why do we choose the word cool?
It means high quality. Right?
Could mean high quality. What else could it cool, what does cool mean?
Relax.
Yeah, it means that your needs are met.
Yeah.
Their needs are met. They're not gonna pull some weird shit. Now, the problem is, though, again, it's about a healthy relationship to giving and receiving. Somebody who's in a permanent state of giving but can't receive is also being leached off of, is also being weakened. And what is the fun when someone will only give and has no boundary and will never receive? What is that actually? Is that giving or receiving? What is it actually? Sorry, is it giving or taking? What is it actually? It's actually taking. Why is someone in this perpetual mode of give, but never receive? Why?
They're coping.
They're in coping. They have low self-esteem, and as a strategy, they hope that they can get their needs met. But if they just give and give more, maybe their needs will get met. It's not actually about giving to the other person. Real giving is that you're okay, and then you just choose to give to another person. Like when I'm here doing a free event, I'm okay. I choose to give you the event. That means I have a boundary. That means you come say hi to me when I'm taking a piss, I'm not gonna answer you. I'm not like, yes, let me flick my cock while I talk to you. Yeah, let's touch our dicks while we talk, okay? That means that if I say, hey guys, I'm done for the day, I'm taking a break now, you come to me in the hall, I'm not gonna answer. That's not me being a dick, okay? I'm not gonna be a full dick and like not look at you. I'll go, hey man, remember what we talked about? I'm gonna grab a bite, okay? I'll see you inside, okay? Right, you know a big one people do is the pictures. If one person jumps up right now and gets a picture, is that just one picture?
No.
What does that actually mean if they jump up and ask for a picture? It means it's the start of a flood, right? Everyone wants a photo. It means no more seminar time. It's called Santa Claus on the lap of Santa Claus picture time. So, right? But what they think is, I have urge. I have formulated thought. I want picture. They're not like, but wait, if he says yes to me, he'd have to say yes to every single other person. Okay? So this is what, like guys, for example, who go talk to girls and they're just fucking boring. If you're boring and generic and you're just like playing it super safe, and I mean, be safe, but but playing it safe as far as your personality just being boring, well then, what you're basically saying to that woman unconsciously is, I'm boring, but I want you. I'm trying to hook up with you. Therefore, your standard should be to hook up with every boring guy. So what you're really if you come to me right now and you try to get a photo, are you saying, hey, I want a photo? Or are you saying you should give everyone a photo?
I'm saying, yeah, you should give everyone.
Yeah, so if you want to come to my party and you don't bring girls, as an example, right? You have no female friends to bring. So the ratio is just you, 1 to 0 guy ratio, right? Yeah. Then are you saying, I just want to come to your party? Or is what you're saying is, you should just let in every guy who asks? But you're not going to realize, I'm not saying you, but what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is like, it's messy. Okay, so what I'm saying is, if someone's in coping, they're not aware that they're saying that because they're in hell. They're in the hell of non-awareness. So as a result of that, they're just like, I just want you to let me in. I'm like, yeah, but then I'd have to let everybody in. No, I just want you to let me in, right? But like, well, by what rationale would I be letting you in? Well, what they would say is that they'll tend to fall back on the word connection. Like there's a unique connection between you and I to where you should just let me in, okay? But the thing is, they're asking the higher status person to do something which they themselves would not do. It's like, okay, well, how about this? I'll let you in, but what's the thing that you're gonna go do for someone below you? What have you done in the past year for someone below you? Like, name the last 5 nice things that you did that you didn't have to do. Name someone else that you have a unique connection with that's below you. Like, is there a homeless person below you that you went and uniquely helped because you had a unique caring for their personality? Now, by the way, people at a high level will never tell you any of this stuff. You wanna know why they won't tell it to you? Because they think you're hopeless. They all know this, but they believe you're beyond help. Do you know what some women would tell me when I would coach dating? You can't help those guys. You can't help those guys. Don't try to help them. Don't try to help them. Ew, don't help them. Ew, don't help them. Ew, don't help them. You're not supposed to be helping those guys. Ew. Don't help them, because they believe at your core that you're unchangeable. The elites believe you're unchangeable. They believe that you're to be exploited and managed like cattle. They believe you will not be changed. They believe that you like your filthy fucking food. You just want your TikTok, your processed foods, your drugs, and your complaining, and your victim psychology and your victim culture. And that you will not be changed. The elites study a book called The Kabbalion that literally says at the start, this paraphrase, in every generation, some fool comes and gives the truth to the masses. But rather than thanking that person, the masses crowd around him with forks and go, crucify, 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 while they eat their disgusting mental food. They look at it, and they say that the really intelligent person gives a pitying smile at the masses and goes, Yeah, it's just the way it is. It's just the planet that we're on, the dimension that we're in, that's how it is, and that real spiritual growth is not fighting back against that, but accepting it. Real spiritual growth is accepting that the masses are these disgusting, vulgar idiots. These disgusting, vulgar idiots who do not want to be helped, and anything that you try to do to help them, they will fuck you up. Now, by the way, I'm going to tell you the truth. Every bit of evidence that I see proves that to be true. I fight against this every day with the prayer that it's wrong. I refuse to believe it's wrong. I take so much extreme ownership that I believe that I will personally fucking crack the fucking dam. But most of what I see proves it to be wrong. I can't tell you how many people that I have personally plucked up and put them in incredible positions, and they will fight their way back down. What it looks like to me, if I'm being honest with you, is karmic. It looks karmic. It looks like they need their pain, and that they actively hate you because you removed their pain, you gave them opportunity, and rather than working that opportunity, they seem to somehow feel as though you're spiritually depriving them of the pain they need to elevate, and they hate you for helping them. That is what it looks like to me. But I'll tell you why I don't give up. I don't give up because I did get a hand. I did. And I worked that opportunity into the dirt. I didn't need real life interaction footage. I just needed a guy in a fucking seminar to say it was possible, and I believed him. Okay? I would go to different personal growth seminars. I didn't question if it was a scam. I just believed it. I never thought a personal growth seminar was a scam because I was so desperate to believe in something that you couldn't tell me it was a scam. I was like, I fucking hope it's a scam. I don't care because I'm gonna make it not a scam. Like, I don't even care if it's a scam. I'm gonna take what he's saying and make it real. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't care if it's fake. I'm gonna make it real because I don't have a choice. I do not have a choice. I look at people that are like, oh, it's a scam. I'm like, well then, okay, fine, okay. But then what are you doing? Okay, scam. Okay, well then what are you doing? Like, what did that solve? Like, what do you actually do? You're just gonna sit there broke? You're gonna sit there and shit and just, you're just like this pig in shit, just eating its own feces, rolling around your own shit, eating your own shit, and you're like, no, there's no way out of the shithole. There's nowhere beyond this shithole. This shithole is all there is. Look, if I'm a pig and I'm sitting in a shithole and I believe that's all there is, I know I'm gonna stay there. So even if like there's some other pig who's like, no, there's a way out, I'm like, that motherfucker might be lying, but I'm just going with what he's saying. That potentially lying pig could be lying. Who cares? Like, what if everything I said here is a massive fucking lie? Does that change the fact that you need to change your circumstance or that you need to evolve? So even if it was a big fucking lie, it doesn't change anything for you. It would just mean that I'm some weirdo, but it doesn't change anything for you. So that's why I'm like, well, if this guy's bullshitting, like if Stephen Covey and 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is a scam, I still got to learn that. So it doesn't matter. I mean, it just mean I just feel bad for Stephen. I'm like, geez, that's a very strange occupation you chose, sir. But thank you. Thank you for motivating me. You know? So if I was at the edge of some pig shithole and a pig was like, oh, there's a grassy field over there. You know, I get over to where that pig is, but it was just still more shit. I'd be like, well, hey, at least you got me to move over here. But now I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go over here. I'm just going to keep going. But maybe it's true. Maybe all there is an infinite pile of shit. Maybe you'll never get out of your situation. Maybe there's no way out. Maybe there is none. But I don't fucking believe that, and I found the way out. And what I did was here's what I found was the truth. There's certain paradigms of knowledge that are so high paradigm that you call it your RAS, reticular activation system, which is your selective focus. It's what your mind is able to clasp onto or what it's not able to clasp onto. What I found was there was such high paradigm knowledge that for me to be able to clasp onto this was the hardest thing that you could imagine. And now I view it as dumb. I'm like, how did I not clasp, like, how did I not just get that like that? Like, it's weird. Like, it's so weird that it took me so long to get it. Like, what was wrong with me? Like, I have not been in a bad mood in years. And I think back to when I was suicidally depressed when I'm young. And I'm like, oh, I was suicidally depressed when I'm young. And I'm like, am I lying? What do I mean I'm suicidally depressed? Why would you hurt yourself? That's vandalizing God's creation. Why would you hurt yourself? But it was real to me at the time. Like, I was in a trance. me, right? And then I wasn't getting what I want, so I just want to die. So I was in a fucking trance. It's crazy. But what I learned over time was you can break that trance, okay, and get the higher paradigm knowledge. But you have to understand, do you see the Chinese finger trap? If you go me, like that, right? You don't get anything. You don't get anything because you're radioactive. You're putrid, you're disgusting, you're vulgar, sick, disgusting, deranged. So what happens, and by the way, you know that because when you go out, you go talk to people, they run away. So you're putting out a weird energy. You ever had a night out where you went out and everyone runs away, but on another night you go out and everyone loves you? That's the energetic flow. Okay? Now what happens on some nights is you luck out and a few people are nice to you, you get the validation that you want, you light up, and then everyone keeps validating you, and then you light up more and more and more. But real skill is where you don't need the first few people to be nice, and you can self-generate that outward flow. Bombshell I just gave you right there, by the way, even though you should know it. But that's like the key. Getting in state without that validation. Yeah. It means knowing that you're a 10 for no reason at all. Right? Okay? But it's not just you're a 10, you're one of one. I say 10 because it's more relatable. It's your one of one. You have to be able to get in state, no reason at all. That's when you've transcended, okay? But what happens is we can't access the higher paradigm knowledge because we go, I want to take. But when you want to take, you're radioactive, so you don't ever get, unless you're one of those like people from LA who's like, you know, some of the elites and stuff like that they actually do wind up getting, which makes them even more deranged and more sick in the head. They're actually become more deranged and more sick in the head. Getting what you want is actually the opposite of what you want. It's actually the worst. Again, being selfish, getting nothing is better than being selfish and getting what you want. It's the worst thing in the world. Because what happens if you're in a taker mindset and then it just starts working?
Just perpetuates it, validates it.
I'm gonna be here forever.
You're in hell forever. It actually addicts you to the hell. You get addicted. And it deranges the mind deeper and deeper. You get darker and 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 darker. Right? That's why in the Bible, it's focused on when Jesus is crucified, that's when he has his second birth. That's what creates the birth of the soul. His ultimate victory is his proactive non-resistance to his suffering and his forgiveness of the people who did it to him. That's what creates the birth of the soul. It's all there. It's all in the Bible, guys. It's all there. It's all there. But guys are like, well, I don't think Noah's Ark happened. I don't give a fuck. Okay? Like they're stuck on some weird, like, well, did this really happen or did that really happen? How about this? Have your transcendent experience, awaken, and then you can get in a debate about the ark. Like, what does it matter? What does it matter, these conversations? You're asleep. You're a drone. You're in hell. You're radioactive. You're in a taker hell. Who gives a shit? The demon's coming. Okay. Right? Is my red? Yeah. So, okay. But so guys, think about this, okay? What does it matter what's real or not real? You've been given the answers to the test. It's right there. It's right there. I don't care what you believe. I care about your state of consciousness. I care about the fact you're fucking broke. I care about the fact that you can't even go skiing on a motherfucking Wednesday. Okay? I care about the fact you won't be able to pay for your children's upbringing. So, you know, so the thing is, you can't get access to the higher paradigm knowledge because you're stuck in this fucking loop of me, like that, right? So you're radioactive. But you would, in order to feel okay, you would need to receive. Think of if you could just get a break, right? If you could just get a break and just receive and just, your money was just handled. You had a lot of money. You had a lot of people wanting your time, your attention. You could travel, you know, and you could just relax and start to feel positive. But you're not gonna get there until you shift your thinking. You see the paradox? Yeah. You see the fucking it's a fucking paradox, yeah. Right? Because if you just started feeling good, then you could access the higher paradigms that you would need to secure your income, the higher paradigms that you would need to get better social skills, the higher paradigms that you would need to feel good inside yourself. You can't, it's hard to access those when you're drowning. right? If you're drowning and I'm like you're literally drowning in the ocean, I'm like, oh, there's a higher paradigm, bro. You're like, fuck, right? You're like, right? Like a homeless person, right? You're like, bro, you don't have to be homeless. There's a higher paradigm. Right? He's like, you mean take heroin? Like, what's the higher paradigm? Right? Fentanyl? What's the higher paradigm? How do you tell someone suffering there's a higher paradigm? But the problem is, so then you go give them stuff. Here, I'll give you money. I'll give you what you want. Does that fix it? You know what fixes it? Grace. The grace of God that comes to them and says, are you ready to stop suffering? Have you hit rock bottom yet? Has your soul suffered enough? Are you done suffering? Are you done with this bullshit? And then the noise stops. They've had enough pain and they're willing to stop resisting. So imagine me where, okay, you guys know how I am, right? Like, what teacher could be more committed where I'm trying to show someone social skills. I'm like, I'll get so good at it that I can demonstrate it in person on commit. Like, do you guys understand how good you have to be at this? To be that confident to be like, if you are from South Africa, fly in. I will crush it on command. Like, most people have a good day, a bad day. Most people have an off day, on day, off day. Most people maybe have a bit of varied results. I'm like, come one, come all, I will show you. So that's a process in itself that I have to master. Then I've got to be able to show you. So if I'm showing you and I'm showing it on myself, how much commitment to me getting you a result does that have to have? Then I used to film it and put it out and got hella problems because of that. But I'm trying to help you. How bad do I want to help you? But you know what it's like for me when you try to help someone and you're dropping bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb. Like things that, like lessons that was like 5 years of cumulative thinking and going through the shit. And you're like, after 5 years, and this is like just for one 30-second bit. Right? And you're just dropping bit, like 5 years of hell, 5 years of hell, 5 years of hell, 5 years of hell, all like in 5 minutes and 30-second chunks. Right? And people are like, oh yeah, cool. Anyway, and you're like, come on. And you start to realize, oh, they're in a trance. This person's in a trance. Look, you saw it. Me, Michael, and Sid did a public speaking seminar the other day, right? And normally what we do is we will keep working with the person until we fix them, but we want to make it like a little funny competition. So we'd bring people up, they would do a bit of public speaking, we would give the feedback. The feedback was clear as day. Clear as fucking day. Simple as, be louder would be a simple example. How many people were able to receive the feedback on their attempt? Almost none. That's spiritual. Look, it's as simple as the right format would be to put up 2 fingers. You try, you put up 1. My feedback is I say, just put your other finger up. And then they go. And like, that's where you're like, is this Satan? 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 Is that you? Is this Satan? You're like, then you grab their hand and you're like, that. You go, now put it up, and they go. And you're like, hello? Is there a devil in the room? What is happening? It's addiction to pain. It's just trauma, pain addiction, low paradigm addiction. They just can't get it. Remember our friend Sasha? It's a wall. It's just, and I love him. I love him so much. You should watch this. It's a wall. It's just a fucking wall, It's just a fucking wall that's up. And that's why they say you have to have the eyes to see. You have to have the eyes to see. There's things right in front of you that will show you the answer, but you have to allow yourself to see it. Remember I said earlier that when you're in that lower level paradigm, that what happens is you're looping on me, right? But then if I say, well, have you studied marketing? Have you studied how to connect to other people? And that's like 2% of what you've studied. It's all just mindless consumption. You're in this loop of mindless fucking consumption. So the problem is that there's ways that we have to begin to examine ways to break the trance. We have to actively break this trance. I'm going to tell you my opinion, but I'll say it from a spiritual perspective, how I see it, but then I'll share it from a scientific perspective, okay? Here's a spiritual perspective that I see it. In my view, I'll say spiritually, and then I'll say more scientifically. So we cover both audience. So if you're the scientific type, plug your ears, okay? And then we'll just take this as a freaky learning lesson of what weird idiots think, and then we'll go into what you think. Okay, so I think you have to ask God into your life. You have to sit in humility at your own brokenness. I am broken. I am so broken. I'm in hell. God, I submit. I surrender. I love you. Please, I need your help. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. Please, I can't do this. I need you. I cannot do this alone. I can't. I'm in hell. I'm in a trance. I'm fucking up. I'm doing things I'm not proud of. I'm not proud of myself. I don't love myself right now. I'm better than this. I know I was born for more than this. And it's not about my will. It's about your will. I need to connect to that. And I'm sorry. And I'm just in fucking hell. And thank you for putting me in hell because I needed to see this for myself. I needed to see this to learn. Thank you. And that can be a beginning springboard to beginning to crawl out of hell. And it's like God will drilling down through this kind of haze that you're in. There's this haze that's around you that, where you're like, hey, put the two fingers up. And you go, huh? Like that, because it's like it's like, put the two fingers. And it's like that, because it's like you can't hear it. It's like I yell two fingers, but you hear one finger. It's like it's lying to you. You don't have the discernment. It's lying to you. Right? By the way, the whole sixth system is designed to keep you in that trance, and the leaders of it speak to you on a megaphone into that trance. That's what you're seeing, by the way. That's what you're actually seeing. They know you're in it, and they whisper to you. They whisper to you in that trance, and they direct you and they guide you. And where do you think they're getting their directions from? So that's just my opinion, okay? So you have to ask for grace because you can't do it alone, because the problem is, as long as you're radioactive, you'll never even get to the point that you can calm down to be able to receive a higher level paradigm of knowledge. You're not going to be able to. Now, from a simple example, from a pragmatic standpoint, that means if you're building a product or service, just to make it more down to earth, you're building a product or service, and you should be spending all your time thinking about how to add value to others, but you can't. You can't even clearly think about it. Then you see these guys hung up in like, well, I don't like that they like this and all this kind of stuff. They're just an endless mental noise. It's just endless mental shit. Instead of just doing what works and doing what would add value. Just this endless mental shit. So they're not able to get to that point, so they're stuck. To be able to reach the higher, to be able to let the higher level paradigms in, you have to be able to resonate with them. You can only let in knowledge of that which you can resonate with. If you're not resonant for that knowledge, you can't let it in. Go to a homeless person, try talking to them. Give them exact instructions, they can't take it. You think you're any different? It's much like autism spectrum disorder. Being in a slumber is a spectrum, okay? Homeless person, as an example, many of them are way over here. You're maybe here. Maybe you're here. A couple of you could be here. But it's a continuum. So there's things that you're not hearing as well. You watched it with the public speaking video. You saw it. You saw it. You saw it. But that's the least of it. But you saw it. When you just say, I'm done being in pain, I want to add value to others, that's where you start changing. Your focus begins being like, what do they feel? What does this person feel? How to add value to them? But then you say to yourself, but hey, how do I feel? I'm also a person who's worthy, who deserves love, who deserves to receive. So you do things for yourself too, right? Just ignoring yourself is just more the sick Satanism. You have to do it for yourself too, right? You have to do good things for yourself. You have to make yourself right so that you can come in with power, with force, with precision, and adding value. Okay? If I've got a flight pilot, someone's gonna fly me back to Los Angeles, that guy better go get his fucking sleep. That motherfucker needs a massage. Get this man a massage. Get him whatever he needs to get us all home safely. So you gotta get your tribe home safely too. So you gotta value yourself as a 10 out of 10, but value other people as a 10 out of 10. Okay? But the main key is not that selfishness is bad. Selfishness is good insofar that it's not just for the self alone, but it's to circulate the energy, okay? So then what will start happening, okay, is you can also look at other ways to break that energy. So I said I would give the more logical way. The more logical way, okay, instead of seeing it from a spiritual context, is you could practice mindfulness meditative states, right? So just learning to still the mind, right? That doesn't have to be spiritual. You could just do it scientific. Harvard studied it. Learn to still the mind. Another thing you could do is learn to laugh more. Just learn to crack a lot of idiotic jokes. Learn to not take yourself so seriously. So basically what you do is you want to shift, you look at it this way. You have beliefs, focus, physiology, self-fulfilling prophecy, reference experience, beliefs. So watch this cycle, okay? Watch how the cycle works. Pay close attention. What do you believe about the world? So they say that you don't believe what you see what you believe. Do you guys know about that? You don't believe what you see what you believe. Whatever you believe about the world is what you'll find. You'll find evidence of whatever you already believe. So two different people have such different opinions. So you have a belief set, a bad belief set or a good belief set. I have, my belief set is a little too good. I pay people to be like, yo, be more pessimistic. Because I'm so optimistic, I think I can do fucking anything. That's how I break my leg skiing. Of course I broke my leg skiing, because I literally think I can do anything. So the thing is, yeah, I have problems that happen because I think I get too cocky. I have a rap album going in my head. Okay, it's like Lil Wayne is in my brain all day, saying how awesome, how much I love you guys, how awesome you guys. Like my rap album's not just saying how awesome I am; it's how awesome you guys are. Like my rap album's like, this guy's gonna be awesome, 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 this guy's gonna be awesome. Our fucking country's awesome, our fucking planet's awesome, God is awesome, everything's awesome. We can beat any challenge. We can do this. Like that's all that's looping in my head just all day. It's just the potential that we have. Because forged in the image of God, human beings forged in the image of God, we can do anything. We have a great destiny ahead of us. We have a great, incredible destiny. My children's destiny, I think about it, it brings tears to my eyes. Me and my children, we've been on such incredible trips deep into nature, deep up into the mountains of Alaska, up into the Arctic Circle. Me and my children will travel together to the ends of the earth and have. We as a species, we will travel into space. We will break down the space-time fucking continuum. We will travel to other galaxies. We will invent things. We will transcend. There's so much. We're just getting started. We're like babies. We're like little babies. But like a little baby, and just in this nest of fire ants. And the fire ants are poking at the baby. And the fire ants could kill the baby. But what the fire ants don't realize, like that baby, literally that baby, is going to grow up and could just stomp on all those fire ants in 2 seconds. We are more powerful and more advanced than the fucking demons that attack us. You understand that? We are far more powerful than that. But we're in a fucking trance, so we don't see that potential. So some little pest, some little derpy little shitty demon can come on, just get in your fucking, you could literally just flick it off right now. Just come out of the me trance. The trance is so easy to break. It's so easy to break. You have no idea. It's so easy to break. But when you're in it, it's like a Chinese finger trap. It's just some stupid ass little Velcro Chinese finger trap that just feels tight, but it's not. We can break out of it. You can even think of a collective mood within a seminar room and how it can shift. We can collectively shift. We can get to where we want to go. Our enemies and the people who hate our freedom and the people who hate just the beauty that we have here, the people who hate it can be shown that they will not be able to take us down, and that we will have fun, that we will party, that we will love our lives, that we will travel, that we will see the world, that we will add value, that we will be prosperous, that we will be healthy, that we will have fun. We can beat those people that don't want that to happen. And when we beat them, it's not about beating them and hurting them. It's about showing them a role model of what happens when you're positive, and then saying, you could do that too. You could break the trance too. You could, like, I don't care that you hate me. I love you. I don't care. Because even the thing of having an enemy, do you understand? You don't have enemies. You're being frame controlled. You're being frame controlled. Another human being is not your enemy. Do you understand? Yes. You're being frame controlled. Competition, you don't have competition. Do you understand? You're being frame controlled. You do not have laziness. Do you understand? You're being frame controlled. 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 You can establish your own frame. You can pass the shit test. You can pass the shit test of the ongoing endless frame control. You can pass it. You can beat it. You can win. We can win. We have potential. So don't let people demoralize you. Don't let them break you down or think that things are bad. They're going to try to get in your head. 2020, everything. They're going to try to get in your mind. They're going to try to scare you. What's the most common phrase in the Bible, as far as I understand, is don't be afraid. Don't give in to fear. Don't give in to low vibes. Stay optimistic. And when your time is done, you go to the next level. That's okay too. Okay? So the pain is here to show you that you don't want to be in that pain anymore. You don't want to be there anymore. And instead what you want to do is you want to hit into another paradigm. You want to transcend into another level. But the problem is, as long as you're stuck down in coping, no matter what information that you're given, it's not going to stick. Ibrahim can be up here all day today for like 8 hours, hammering you with different exercises. You'll go home, you won't do it because you're addicted to failure. So the way that you want to think about it, the shift in thinking, is becoming like a 5-year-old. Be like a 5-year-old. I jokingly say always go full retard, right? Like Tropic Thunder, never go full retard. Always go full retard. Like, be a baby. Be a the most intelligent state of mind is that of a 5-year-old. I believe I am 5 years old. I don't think I'm 44, I'm 5. Look at me, I'm still believing make-believe. Just look at how I dress. I dress how a 5-year-old would dress if he was 44, right? Look at my life. My life is like a teenage boy's life of what he would design at 44, right? When you were 14 and you hadn't been broken yet, well, how would you want your life to look when you're 44? Me, right? I'm basically a combination of my 5-year-old self and me as a teenager. But why is that good? It was because it was before they broke you. It was before you lost your spirit, before you, right? People say, oh, you know, you can't be having all this fun when you're 44. Yes, I can. Oh yeah, I can. I definitely can. And you can, and everybody can. Okay? Don't let them break you. Most guys that you see by 44 don't even exist. They're an empty cutout. They're broken, had their soul destroyed. Many cases by their bitchy wives. Or wives by their fucking bitchy ass husbands. Right? People poison drip each other, they suck the life out of each other. The commute to work, paying for the kids, the grind, it breaks you. It just breaks you. Do you guys know how hard it is for me to even get people to take a vacation with me? I'm like a 5-year-old, I want to go play. I'm 5. I'm 5. I am 5. I'm eternally 5. I'm eternally 5 years old. When I'm 90, I will be 5. So I say to my friends, I say, hey, let's go here, let's go there. Most of them, they don't want to go. Only Sid wants to go. Nobody ever wants to go. Because you know why? They got to pay their bills. They got to handle their responsibility. Fuck responsibility. Make so much money that you don't have to worry about responsibility. And go skiing. Or go into nature. Or go, you know, I go take my kids ATVing on the, you know, in front of the beach in Oregon. Things like that. Just awesome. What was it like?
Oh, it was just like really fun going up and down and just driving around. That was really fun.
Imagine that your dad said to you when you're like fucking like 10, 11 years old, like, here, I'll give you this ATV, and you just go blast around the fucking sand dunes in Oregon, just go fucking crazy. Why can't life be like that? Why does that have to be like rare? Why can't everybody get to do stuff like that? Why does that have to be rare? Why can't that just be normal? Why does life have to suck so bad? Why do we have to live on a hell on earth? Why does it have to be like that? I don't want it to be like that. Sometimes I'll have a girlfriend and they just get mad about stuff. I'm like, I don't care. It's like, what, you don't care about my feelings? No. I don't even 1% care about your feelings. I don't even 1% care that you're pissed off. What, is that selfish? No. That's called I don't have Satan's dick in my mouth the way that you do. Pull Lucifer's cock out of your mouth, stop sucking his dick, and let's go camping. That is literally what I believe. I'm doing all the work making the money. I'm not complaining. I don't have anything to complain about. I am 5. I tell people I just want to have fun. And they're like, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, you need to listen to what I'm telling you. You need to listen to me. You need to listen to me and listen good. When I say I just want to have fun, that's not a figure of speech. You will rapidly learn that I am not kidding and that I just want to have fun. That is it. You will not break my fun. You will never break my fun. You will not make me hate you. You're not going to make me hate you. You're not going to break my fun. You're not going to annoy me. You're not going to scare me. You're not going to wreck my day. When I broke my leg, I didn't let it wreck my day. I joked with the people in the ambulance. They couldn't believe it. They thought it was crazy. They're like, they literally thought I was going delirious. They're like, this guy can't have because I had a really bad broken leg. They're like, this guy's crazy. I'm not letting a broken leg wreck my day. The only thing that will wreck my day is like if a child died or something. Maybe one of you guys got hurt. Maybe I'll take a day to be sad. But no one's wrecking my fucking fun. No one is wrecking my day. Now, people hear that, they go, oh, that's irresponsible. You're saying just have fun? And then they associate that to like taking drugs. Or they associate that to hurting yourself. Or they associate that to not working. No. Be so good at work that you don't have to work. Be so good at work that also while you are working, that as you're working, you're having fun. I'll put out videos, like sometimes my editors will cut reels that say, have me just yelling, have fun, and then a couple people will say, well, what are you saying? Take drugs? I'm like, no. Or like, what are you saying? Like, don't work? No. Why do you think the only 2 ways to have fun is to take drugs or to not work? Why can't you have fun while working? Why can't you have fun without drugs? 100% of any bar club that I go to, I am having by far the most fun. I'm laughing the hardest. I'm having the most fun. I'm loving my life. Honestly, even in a wheelchair, I'm gonna have fun. So, no one's gonna break my frame. You'll have to kill me. And then I'm gonna have even more fun. You're not gonna break my frame. You're not gonna make me hate you. You're not gonna make me negative. You're not gonna make me have a bad day. I'm gonna keep having fun. All that, understand, every single shit test of the world that tells you that you're not the shit is just a shit test to be passed. Every time that you feel scarcity, it's just a shit test to be passed. Every time that you feel lazy, it's just a shit test to be passed. Every time that you think you have an enemy, it's just a shit test to be passed. Okay? Every time that you wish that the system will come save you, it's just a shit test to be passed. It's all a shit test. But why do you think is the other reason that selfishly and from a pure, ruthless business perspective, I will always keep having fun? Now, I'm saying this to someone who's done over $100 million in sales. So it's funny, people will come in that have not accomplished a fraction of what I have in business, and they'll go, I'm not about fun, I'm about results. And I'm like, but I make more money than you. You know, like these guys back in the day, like I would talk about like, you know, being natural as far as social skills and as far as your dating life. And they're like, no, I'm about a consistent method, not about all this like fun woo stuff. I'm like, but I know your results. I'm getting 50 times better results than you without even trying. What do you mean you're about results? You're about non-results. You're about non-results. It's like you're in this like you have this like weighted jacket on. Like you picked up a weighted jacket, you put it on yourself, and then you're running frantically up the street with this weighted jacket, and you're like, I'm about, you know, getting from point A to point B super fast. Right? And I'm like, look how hard I'm working. I'm sweating. It's like, just take the jacket off, man. Take all this weight off yourself. Why do you want to try to win with weight on yourself? All this weight, it's so heavy. Do you understand how heavy your mind is? Why do you need to be 5 years old? Because it's too heavy. Being 44, the way that normal people are 44 is, look at them. Look at them. Look at them. It's crazy. Look what they look like. They look out of their goddamn mind. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them. Like they're just walking around. It's fucking crazy, man. It's fucking crazy. Like they're all mad about you, like honking in traffic, you know, all this stuff. And then they're wondering, and they're like, inflation. Like, what's inflation? I mean, yeah, it sucks, and like the government's fucking ridiculous. But the point is, like, how this is affecting you. Like, where are you at, bro? Like, you're God's creation. You're forged in the image of God, and you're like, You cut me off. Forge in God's image. Inflation. Right? It's like, are you serious? You know, forge in the image of God. My leg hurts. That doesn't, you've forgotten who you are, right? You ever have a girlfriend where she just continually ongoing berates you till you forget who you are? You know, like, I've had that happen. I just don't even know who the fuck I am anymore. I'm like, I guess I'm just this bad fucking piece of shit that won't marry her. I'm the the non-marrying piece of shit who has no value to offer to this world, right? You start to believe that when you're around it long enough. They gaslight you up long enough, you don't even know who the fuck you are anymore. Remember once I had a girlfriend. I remember when I met her, she was like, wow, like, you know, the way you look at me, you have really good eye contact. And I was just really present at that point in my life. Really, I was in the zone at that part of my life. My eye contact naturally really held. And over a couple of years, my eye contact didn't hold anymore. I didn't laugh anymore. I complained. I allowed myself to get slowly baby stepped into someone who I wasn't. And I still love her, you know, I'd do anything for her. I really would. I'd probably still jump in front of a car for her. But I allowed myself to feel the shit. That's on me. I don't blame her. That's on me. But I forgot who I was. But, you know, that's on me. It's my fault. And I mean that too. But sometimes you can allow yourself to forget who you are. You see what you've done? You've allowed yourself to forget. You've allowed yourself to forget who you are. You've allowed yourself to forget that you're fucking American, the beauty of your country, the sacrifice that was created for your country to exist, who you are, what your potential is. You allow yourself to forget that. So remember who you are. And then from there, what I'd say is, what is the logical business reason that I want to stay loose? Because I want to be effective. People get to the point where they create self-generated resistance. Say that word, self-generated resistance. Self-generated resistance. Self-generated resistance when you're like, I'm a hustler, motherfucker. I'm a hustler. And so then what you do is you're sitting there as a so-called hustler, but you have the answers to work less right in front of you, but you won't receive those answers because you're addicted to being a hustler. You're addicted to your struggle. That's what we were talking about yesterday, right? It's like, yes, put in those hours needed to build a skill, but don't be addicted to the struggle, okay? Where it's feeding a certain energy field that you're addicted to. You're stuck in a sort of an energy field. The answer is right in front of you, but you won't get the answer because you're stuck in this energy field. So, in other words, you want to stay loose because you want to make sure that you resonate with the solutions when they're presented to you. You ever notice that serendipitously, it's really freaky shit, the answers are just continually fed to you if you ask for them? You ever see that? It's a weird spiritual experience, part of being a human being. It's like, what the fuck? Like you have this thought in your mind, and the answer's just like, and you're like, I can't even think about that. Like, I don't even want to think about the significance of what I'm seeing right now. This is too insane. It is like a 1 in 20 million odds that I would just have this need, have this thought, and the answer is just given to me. You have to have the ears open, okay? You have to have your ears open, okay? So when you're in that trance, you can't hear the answer. You don't have the eyes to see. You have to maintain your discernment, maintain awareness of the answers that are coming to you. The answers are being fed to you, but you have to maintain your awareness to those answers. So, a simple example to this would be like, rubber meets the road. You ever been out and someone's really, really into you, and all you need to do is shut the fuck up and it's a done deal? But you just keep talking, and you talk yourself out of it, and you talk yourself out of a great situation and you ruin it. That's because you're doing a little too much. There's an expression they call it, you're doing too much. That's what I would say to most entrepreneurs, like, bro, you're doing too much. Just go to the thing that has the most impact, go to the thing that works, and do the thing that works. Stop dicking around with all this fucking chaos. Just go to the thing that fucking works, okay? So everything that you have, the most spiritual sentence in many ways is this: what else? Say that with me, what else? What else? So everything that you're doing, that you're wasting your thought capital on, energy capital, focused capital, go back to the simple thought of, what else could I be thinking about? What else could I be doing with this time? So a simple example would be this. You ever maybe have a significant other, and what happens is you really love them, so you emotionally invest into them. But maybe later in the relationship, they start having emotional outbursts, they become emotionally dysregulated, maybe they have little flip outs, and that begins to poison you and affect you. and you love this person so dearly, so you don't want to break up. So you stay in there, right? Why is it that that person thinks that it's okay to flip out like that when you are trying to do what you need to do to be that person's hero and to win for them? Not just for you, but for them. Why do they do that? Why do they act like that? Part of it is they could be addicted to negativity, to be honest with you. But what's another reason they do that?
Keep allowing it. Stay.
You don't have a boundary, but what else? It's that they don't value you enough not to do it. They don't value you enough. They're not afraid for you to walk. They're not afraid to walk. If you're with someone who's just like flips out whatever, they're not afraid for you to walk away. They're like for example, if you had a free pass to the Playboy Mansion when it was at its peak, would you start taking a shit on the ground? It'd be kind of funny, I guess. Great story, great YouTube video. But would you take a shit on the ground if you have access to the Playboy Mansion at its peak? Great party. Even if you're not trying to hook up with anybody, you just think it's a cool ass party. You wouldn't take a shit on the ground. Why? Because you value the opportunity. If someone's just flipping out in front of you all the time, are they really that afraid to lose you? No. So on one side of it, you could take their feedback. Hey, is there something that I'm doing that's like so wrong, so incredibly wrong that you're flipping out? And if that's the case, you should listen and you should hear them out. And if things come up here or there and someone has a bad day, they should be allowed to have a bad day. Doesn't mean that if someone flips out in front of you one time that you've got to cut them out of your life. I like to focus on gratitude with people, what they're bringing, and try to fix things. I always try to fix things. But let's say that you've been trying to fix things. You're listening. You're clearly, visibly listening to them, obviously. But nothing that you do or say is going to change that behavior. What does that mean? Could mean that they're just intensely emotionally dysregulated. They intensely resonate with negativity. Fair enough. But even if they do, that same person, could you conceive of a situation where they wouldn't act like that? Of course. If they met Drake, would they start yelling at Drake? Unless it was Kendrick Lamar you're with. So they wouldn't do it, right? But they do it to you. What does that mean? It means that you're around someone who doesn't really have that much value for what you have to offer. But here's the paradox of it. So focus very closely. Everyone pay very close attention to what I'm about to tell you. So if that's the case, and then you keep doubling down on that person, what is that burning? Time, energy, focus, momentum, opportunity cost. Repeat this after me. Time, focus, momentum, energy, opportunity cost. Okay, it's being burned on them. What could you be doing? Say the word, what else?
What else?
What, rather than trying to placate to someone who will never be placated to, what could you be doing instead with that time? Building your business, getting more spiritually tapped in and more high vibe, getting more healthy, building better social skills, learning more about things like buyer-seller dynamics so that whatever you do have, people appreciate it more. You could be investing in yourself, your passions, your hobbies. They say that by way of looking at it, they say that what addiction fundamentally is just that you put all your happiness into only one thing. That's actually addiction. If you love a bunch of different things, then if you remove any one of them, it's not a big deal. But if you really put it in one thing, it becomes this huge, huge deal if you don't get it, right? Like someone addicted to crack cocaine, you probably like a bunch of stuff the way that they like only crack cocaine. So that's the problem, is they can't remove the crack cocaine. So if you have a significant other and you're really into them, but they're mad because you're not bringing enough value, but then you're spending 3-4 hours a day trying to placate them. But then in addition, it's wearing you down because it's lowering your vibe. If it's lowering your vibe and you're being infected, right? Robert Greene calls that the law of infection. Say that, the law of infection. The law of infection. Okay, so the unlucky and the unhappy, he says, repeat this after me, it's from Robert Greene, always avoid the unlucky and the unhappy. Okay, so in other words, that's a very harsh statement that's not entirely true. You might also want to help the poor, but even when you help the poor, you don't just marry them. Okay, you just help them and keep it moving. So the point is, so there's still a boundary there, is that by the way, mental illness is actually transmissible. Did you guys know that? Oh yeah, even things like NPD and BPD, borderline personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, actually temporarily get transmitted. Oh yeah, mental illness can even be tracked by one person is diagnosed with mental illness in a classroom and then the other kids start getting it. It's not that you actually have the mental illness. It's a temporary effect. It's a temporary onset, then will leave, versus the person that permanently has it. So, yeah, you can watch Sam Vaknin's channel, Sam, V-A-K-N-I-N. Look it up. Have you ever had someone around you that is kind of mentally ill and just sort of dark, and then you become like that? So what'll happen is, okay, so what'll happen is this. And you should also put that in check on yourself. Don't just blame everybody else. It's always the mentally ill person. It's like, yeah, I need to get rid of all those mentally ill people. It's like, that's you. So now, if you're in that situation, the only thing that would shut them up is if you're better, right? But how can you become better if you're putting all your time trying to placate them? So what are they trying to do with you? They're trying to use you as a cum receptacle to shoot their spooge of mental illness into you. That's what they're doing. They're trying to bust nuts of mental illness into you. Use you as a receptacle. Use you as a whipping boy. Put your hand up if you've ever been in a situation like that. It's super common. Any of you who didn't have that, you're like, man, I'm trying to get in a situation like that because I'm a virgin. I'm a virgin. I'll take it. Who do I gotta get walked all over by? So the thing is, but you can't fix it, right? I've had coworkers that I've worked with where just no matter what, like I've helped them become millionaires, but they're just always unhappy. And it's like, I'm spending so now I come out to an event like this, but my speech isn't as good. Less people wind up jumping into programs. My videos aren't as good. So now everything's going down, 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 and then now they have more to complain about, and you need them more. That is what you're doing with society's sick system. You're not asking yourself what else. They feed you with negativity, you get traumatized, you start engaging with all their little distractions and numbing agents and autopilot agents. You get stuck in it, you go down further and further. The lower down that you go, the harder that it would be to crawl out of it. A lot of the really higher level pleasures of life can also be kind of expensive. You know, like even just do a basic nature trip, unless you understand how to do that in a cost-effective manner, you have to take time off work, things like that. So a lot of the things that hold you in that loop are kind of given to you. Isn't it amazing how everything unhealthy is just on every fucking street corner? It's like an ongoing trap everywhere you go. The system is built in a way where everywhere you go, you have to be exerting willpower all the time. It's like, here, take this thing, take this thing, take this thing, take this thing. What is the number one word for a human to have? What do you think it is? It's a 2-letter word. What is it? No. Say it louder. No. Say it even louder. No. One more time. No. Yeah, it's just no. Most of life is just policing the garden. It's just saying no. You're saying no to about 99.9% of things. For someone who's spiritual, it's saying yes to God, family, love, and just loving the beautiful experience of life, and no to everything else. It's called the narrow road. Broad is the road that leads to destruction. Narrow is the road that leads to life. Okay, society, when it functions well, is filled with people who get that one truth. That, you know, you've got to just fuck all this bullshit, fuck all this Satanist shit, fuck all this nonsense. Just, you know, right? It's like, no, I'm good. I'm okay. Just narrow road. Right? That's what I was saying to you yesterday, is I know where the narrow road is now. Okay, when you know where the narrow road is, it's like you have to work harder when you're like, me, right? When you just go, no more, right? And you just do what works. You just do the exact thing that works. By the way, some of you in this room are going, what's the things that work? I mean, I already gave you 500 hours of video content on what works. But, I mean, I could dumb it down to 5 minutes. Like, what works can be shared in less than 5 minutes. You already know what works. You know what to put in your body, more or less. You know how to treat your body, more or less. You know what to put in your brain, more or less. You know what sources to learn business and marketing from, more or less. You know how you should be using the hours that you have, more or less. You know the social skills building things you have to do, more or less. You know what it means to become a better leader and to work into that and become eventually a better father, mother, whatever, more or less. You know these things. They're not super complicated. It's just getting yourself to actually fucking do it. And that's the harder part, right? Just to walk the narrow road. But you have to, the problem is you don't resonate with it. Okay, big key here. So pay close attention. Nothing changes till energy moves. Logical mind might be 5-10%. It's the energy body that's 90% of what's running you. So it's like, you ever seen a girl who's like, I just want a boyfriend who loves me, but then she keeps dating guys that cheat on her? So what part, is there a part of her that wants a guy that loves her?
No. Oh, yeah.
For sure, a part. Right? The logic. You know, the small amount of proactive consciousness that she has wants a boyfriend that loves her. What does the satanically possessed energy body want? Yeah. She wants the Giga Chad that will be treated like shit, right? And so the thing is that this is when I would say things like you go to God, that's because you only have about 5% running you. Like 95%, whatever it is, I don't know the exact number, is just a bunch of energies. So you have to, that little 5% of consciousness that you do have that's running you, it's like a ship, and you got to try to turn the ship with that little bit of consciousness that you have, and then you have to invite in the correct energies that will do it for you. So you guys understand, I'm barely doing the speech. Is that real to you guys? I mean, am I really doing this speech? Really? Is this really? It's Owen Cook. Owen Cook is doing the speech. Hey guys, it's Owen Cook. Hi. It's Owen Cook doing the speech. Is it really Owen Cook doing the speech? Come on. Owen Cook is doing the speech. Hey guys, it's Owen Cook doing the speech, right? I don't do speeches, okay? I also don't work. I don't do speeches, I don't work. I don't socialize. I do almost nothing, okay? So what is doing this for me? This is accumulation of energies that I took my little 5% of my brain and I spent several decades inviting in things that will help me. And by the way, it's still a work in progress, and I'm not there yet, nor claiming to be. But I made a conscious effort. If you really want to understand, it was just that to build what I had to build was so fucking hard. It was so fucking hard that I knew I couldn't do it. There was no way I was going to do it. It was too hard. Too much work, too hard. Too much work, too hard, too much friction, not going to happen. There was no way I could do what I planned to do. I was like, man, I want to get up this mountain, but I can't. So once you know you can't get up the mountain, you're like, well, we got to learn to build some ropes. We got to learn to build some ice picks. We got to learn to build a rocket ship or something. We're not climbing up this with our hands. So that's how I got like this. So I started consciously curating the energy that's in me. So what that means is I'm in a negative trance, and I slowly but surely worked myself out of the negative trance because I understood that I was not consciously capable of doing what I need to do. Now, when I'm saying this, right, there's two ways that you could view this. One way you could view it is I'm going, hey, I'm Owen, I do the speech. But it's like, yeah, but you really are Owen and you're doing the speech. What the fuck are you talking about, Owen? That could be, anyone here feel that way when I say that? You're like, Owen, you're Owen. What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean you're not the one doing the speech? You're Owen. You're seeing things too simplistically. This isn't Owen. This is also Julian. This is also mystery. This is also Eckhart Tolle. This is readings from the Bible. This is my ex-girlfriend very much. This is my kids. No, it's true. I mean, we were together a long time. I love her. This is my children. You're talking to Tristan Cook. You're talking to Dylan Cook. Even a little bit Vincent. You're talking to my great teachers. You're talking to the books that I've read. How much of this is just Owen? This is even you guys. This is the influence from you guys. This is influence from the field. This isn't just, I'm the man, right? It's you have to look, human beings are little mini hive minds. If you're around this kind of an indoctrination long enough, what are you going to turn into, right? Human beings are little mini hive minds. You go to gurus or self-help courses, whatever, to get a different influence. The entire, look, here's what a self-help teacher actually does. Do you want to know the real shtick of a self-help teacher? Here's what they actually do. Self-help teachers spend huge volumes of time in a fucking flow state. They just train themselves to be in the fucking zone all the time. when you're in the fucking zone all the time, you download a shitload of high paradigm information. Maybe your brain made it up because you're in a flow state. Maybe it came from above. Don't know. Who the fuck knows? I have my own opinion, but who knows? But for whatever reason, if you forcibly make yourself resonate at a very high level for very long extended periods of time, your brain will have access to solutions that it wouldn't have. So then what you do as a self-help guru is you live there all the time. And you're, by the way, I still get cranky. Like, I will still have a day where I'm like running for the Uber and I didn't sleep and I'm mad and I forgot something and I'm like just, and the Uber driver's like, hey, how are you, Owen? I'm like, ugh, just drive. You know, right? Like once a month, I will have a minute like that or a bad day or I'll get upset. This can happen from time to time, but it is very fucking rare as opposed to a lot of people living there. So, you know, but you want to keep always improving, getting rid of those last little chunks, or you're just human, and that's fine too. So what a self-help guru does is they live up in that state, and then they get information, and then what they have to do is they have to go in the room, and they use a combination of kind of like a presentation, a shtick. You guys see the video I did this week about the shtick of like Wes Watson and Sadhguru and Eckhart Tolle and Bashar? You guys see that video? So you do kind of a shtick, okay? And you come in there like, and you got to kind of captivate the audience, and you use a wealth of different skills from shifts in cadence to vocal projection to movements to just holding a lot of attention to being passionate to jokes to being unexpected, and you hammer the audience, and you hammer them with this, and then eventually they start to sync to your thought frequency. So what I'm trying to do today is I'm trying to get you guys and yesterday to sync to a different thought frequency. So as I'm syncing you to a different thought frequency, I'm giving you some information, but I have the belief that you can also find your own solutions if I can get you into a different thought frequency. So rather than just telling you the solution, I'm doubling down on you, believing that if you get into the right frequency, that you can also find a lot of solutions to your own personal issues. So for example, back when I used to teach social skills a ton of the time, I still teach a decent amount of the time, I used to start off by telling everyone, here's what you should say. First you say this, then you say this, then you say this, then you say this. And eventually you start to realize how tacky that is. But what I realized, if you could just help people to get in state, they'd never run out of things to say. So I'll give you solutions to a million different things. But I also know that if I can anchor you to the right frequency, you can also find many of your own solutions. So, and what would that be? Could be looking up other people's solutions, like reading certain books. But see, when you're in this kind of a mode, maybe you don't care about bullshit anymore. Maybe you don't care about fighting anymore. Maybe you go, you know, it's notorious that a lot of people after self-help programs go dump their girlfriend or boyfriend. Because they go, what the hell am I doing? They go home. My buddy Jesse, his parents run this huge self-help company, and they had this ranch back in the day. And after every seminar, men would pull up and honk at the ranch going, you made my wife divorce me, and they'd flip out. That happens maybe for some bad or good reasons, but a good reason would be that they're in a higher power and they go, this is a source of toxicity. I'm not there anymore. I don't care about this anymore. I want to evolve. I want to grow. I want to be more, but I want to give more. And so you start to want better for yourself. And so what winds up happening is as you want better for yourself, you don't resonate with this bullshit anymore. So somebody who's in a high frequency, they look a little bit different. They move different. They come correct. Where does that come from? That comes from, I believe that too, but also what I'd say is, it comes from the energy that they're bringing into their system. Imagine if all that you did was rather than eating bad food, you ate healthy food. Imagine if instead of sleeping low, you slept deep. Imagine if instead of being stagnant, you exercise. Imagine if instead of looking at bullshit social media, you read world literature, world history, the top business books, the top marketing books, the top spiritual books in the world, top health books in the world. And that's what you liked. That's what you wanted. Imagine if instead of over-consuming information, you were implementing it all the time. Always implementing the information. Imagine if instead of being in a state of stagnation, you're in a state of massive action. While still taking some days off, while spending time in nature. Now imagine if even the nature itself is infusing you. Like when I say that I'm here, it's not Owen, you're talking to Alaska. okay? You're talking to Hawaii. You're talking to Montana. I'm here to go visit some of the beautiful small towns in the South. Charleston, Wilmington. I haven't been to Wilmington yet, but I know Charleston's so beautiful. How's Wilmington? Is it nice? Okay, I'm excited to go. I'm going there tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to start at Wilmington. It's where Jordan grew up, as far as I understand. Maybe I'm wrong, Michael Jordan. Then I'm going to go to Charleston, Savannah, to Jekyll Island, and I'm trying to pick up those vibes. When I'm spending time in Montana, I know this. I don't mean to sound as weird as fuck, because I know it does. It's just sounded weird as fuck. I want to learn from the mountain. I want to learn from the trees. I want to learn from the fish. I want to learn, like, you're around in Alaska, there's bald eagles up on the fucking phone poles. I want to learn from the bald eagles. I want to learn from a rainbow. I want to learn from the ocean. You know, and what do I mean by learn? I'm not like, hello, Mr. Eagle. It's like, hi, Owen. It's RSD Tyler. Can I get a photo? Okay, it's not that, okay? But what it is like, you're looking at it, you're like, this is God's creation, this is beautiful. It stills the mind, and you see the art of God. You see God's creation, and that infuses into you. So you've got to be careful. Remember I said the word no? You say no to the bullshit so you can say yes to the fucking eagle, okay? You say no to the bullshit so you can say yes to the ocean. You say no to the bullshit so you can say yes to that beautiful historical small town. And it's not just the town itself, it's how I spend time with my children. Children, you're there to teach your children are there to teach you. Imagine how much I've learned from my kids. That's not me being tacky. Like, I'm not pulling some bullshit on you like some of these motherfuckers where like, they're just like, because you know how these fuckers are. It's always like, I just want to tell you that I've learned more from my children than anything. It's like, okay, what'd you learn? I don't know, right? It's like they can't tell you. It's like, I can specifically tell you directly what I learned from my children, okay? Children are in a different state of mind. They're in this highly creative, playful state of mind that we as adults tend to lose. And that's what it's meant. So it's meant to be a cycle. By the way, I go to the Banya in Los Angeles filled with all these old people. So I actually hang out like twice a week with all these old fat guys, old fat Russian guys in a Russian Banya. And literally I just talk to these super old guys. And you know what you learn from them? Because they're near the end of life, they're often very not as attached to the world as people in their 20s and 30s are. You know, they're not everything's so urgent, right? Now that the downside of that is they're kind of giving up. What's that?
So they're about to die.
Yeah, they're about to die. Yeah, they don't give a shit. Yeah. Now the downside of that is they can be a little too apathetic, right? They're a little. I don't want to be that apathetic. But the upside is they're like, hey, Owen. By the way, you want to hear something fucking crazy ass funny? So you can imagine some of the companions that I may bring there on occasion, right? So they're always like, what's the next one you're bringing? You know, right? They're always like mind blown, right? And you know who I'm bringing is gonna be amazing. They're mind blown. So they're just like, they can't believe it, because no girls would go to that old ass spot with old ass fat guys, you know. But I bring like, so yeah. So they're like, we love this guy. We love this guy. Yeah, they talk when I come in. They're like, who's he gonna bring? And they're all like, right? So they get my influence too. So yeah, but like the influence they give me is like, they're like, Owen, what's up? And it's like, oh, it reminds you like, we're gonna die, you know, end of life's gonna come, and it's okay, you know, and like just to be more chill. So like when you're talking to me, I hope a little bit of that comes through, right? I hope a little bit of that comes through. Like when I said things earlier, like this is all just a dream. It's like nothing, right? I hope a little bit of the playfulness of my sons come through. I hope a little bit of like those old fucking dudes comes through. You know what I'm saying? I hope a little bit of the sensitivity of my ex-girlfriend and how patient and wonderful of a person she was comes through. I hope that you know, what I get from my students comes through. I hope that what I get from the Bible comes through. I hope that what I get from nature comes through, right? We have to choose actively our influences that we get. And then as we choose those, we have that 5% basic little bit of consciousness. And then from that, we can choose to say, okay, well, I'm choosing now what I'm going to engage with. I'm choosing what is going to influence me and run me. So understand that we don't get to be just Michael, just John, just Terry, just Scott, just Cindy, just Jenny. Jenny is not just Jenny. Jenny is the sum total of influences of other human beings, of energies, of paradigms, of beliefs, of what she focuses on, of how she uses her body, her physiology, of all the self-fulfilling prophecies, of the loops and cycles that she's in, of upward cycle or downward cycle. This influences the human being. Some people would say influenced by God or the devil, of the food that you eat. Some people would even go as far as to say that we consume the intelligence of the plants that we eat. Some people would say that. People that believe in Chinese Eastern herbs would actually pay incredible high premiums like, $1,500 for a bottle of 100-year-old ginseng because they have the belief that 100-year-old ginseng survived for 100 years and has the wisdom of a 100-year-old plant. And I took a lot of that ginseng, and I paid a lot of money for that. So you're talking to some old-ass ginseng right now, too. But that really is what it is. That's being a guru, like when you're doing the guru shtick, and I jokingly call it a guru shtick, being a guru is it's like a job. It's like a job like any other job. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're like, I'm a guru now, like that's my job. Like, some people program a computer, some people cook a pizza, some people are a guru. Well, if you're a guru, there's like a way you do it, right? It's like a job. There's a way that you do it. But the thing is, you only got to be a full-time guru up in front of a crowd to do that same kind of lifestyle. Right? Like the same, I should write a book like The Guru Lifestyle. Step 1, talk to the eagle. Step 2, the expensive ginseng. Step 3, profit. So so the thing is, you can choose those influences that are in you because somebody who's leading the way or leading the frame, like if I'm here to lead the frame with you, I'm trying to show you a couple things that I figured out. There's many things you could show me. I'm trying to show you things that I figured out by making this a full-time focus, and then basically how you could also get it to where you have higher degrees of proactivity and higher degrees of being tapped in your own life. That's what I'm trying to hammer you with here. So understand that from years and years and years of me working on social skills, I realized I'm like, this is like a millipede trying to walk with every leg manually moving. It's like, you can't. You ever find that when you're out, you're like, open, it's like there's just too much happening. You ever notice this? But if you just get the right energy in you, you just do it. Imagine me trying to prepare a speech like this written with PowerPoint. Impossible, right? But so I've got to allow what I've cultivated coming into the speech to do it. And by the way, I love PowerPoint speeches. Look, some of my programs, Blueprint Decoded, Hot Seat, many programs I've done. The infield trainings that I do are prepared. That's a different form of teaching. But this particular form of teaching that we do at the free events, this is me just kind of tapping in and then seeing what we can froth up and what's going to emerge. So you have that creativity as well. And I believe that really high level visionary creativity, not where hundreds of thousands are made, not even just where like millions are made, but where potentially even billions of dollars could be made, is in high level vision. Being a real visionary, seeing through this kind of fog of war or this cloud that we're in, and just turning on the flashlight, and the fog just goes shh like that, and you see exactly what you need to do. You just see exactly what you need to go do. It's just so clear. I need to do this. I see exactly what I need to go do. That's what vision is. That's what I'm trying to show you here as well. Not being frame controlled, that America sucks, you suck, you're not a child of God, you're just this infinite little, or this finite little meat suit rotting piece of fucking filth that should just wank it to porn all day and watch TikTok and eat a fucking candy. And that's you, that's the sum total of you. Not that that couldn't be a fun Saturday night. But, that not like, you have more in the tank. So never letting somebody frame control you to believe that you don't have more potential. But the key is this. I had a seminar that I created in LA where I said that you've got to admit that you're retarded. Now, I say that as a paradox. I don't think anybody's retarded. I don't think a retarded person's retarded. Okay, I love humans. My son has autism. I don't think he's retarded. You know what I'm saying? But I say as a joke, because I like to joke, imagine that you're retarded. I say that because if you can just realize, wait a minute, I'm only like 5% in control. But with that small little limit of control that I do have, I have a little bit of control, I can choose what autopilots I build. And how do you choose what autopilots you build? Part of that is from conscious practice, but part of that is from the energy that you allow within yourself. So if if I want to be the best public speaker in the world, I can't mechanically win that battle with PowerPoints. Right? I can't be the best public speaker of all time with PowerPoints. Write a better PowerPoint. Make a better PowerPoint. Okay? It's like learning if we wanted to learn how to get across space, we can't just fly faster, fly speed of sound, fly speed of light, fly twice the speed of light. We would have to learn to break the paradigm. We'd have to learn to collapse the space-time continuum, open up a little portal, go through, and then uncollapse and come out on the other side. It'd be something like that. That's just some weird Star Wars shit I saw. But it'd be something like that, right? It would be something from a different paradigm. It would be a different underarching or overarching paradigm that would allow us to travel across space because it's just too far. So in the same way, to be able to work at the highest levels, I realize The amount of work that I have, I can't do this alone. I've got to ask for help. I've got to go to God for help. I've got to go to nature for help. I've got to go to friends for help. I've got to go to influences for help. I got to go to nutrition for help. I can't do what I need to do. When I come in, I say, okay, I'm going to go do a couple of days of free associative speaking. I can't just do that on my own. I can't just go do that on my own. There's preparation that goes into that. So what you're seeing me doing here at age 44, that is decades of me taking proactive control over my autopilots and saying, okay, if I'm 5% in control, that's the stripper. I'm a stripper and I'm going, I just wish I could get out of stripping. I think I want to quit weed too. I wish my boyfriend wasn't so mean to me. But then she has trauma energy. It's got her up on the pole. And then what happens is she keeps going back to dickheads and keeps smoking drugs. She can't stop herself because nothing changes till energy moves. But you can't shift all that energy in one day maybe you could somehow, I don't know, but I'm not aware of how. But you can do it gradually. Gradually. But what's that starting point? Let's circle back. Me, right? You get out of the trance. You stop being radioactive. Start thinking about other people. In the Bible, why does it talk about giving? Giving to other people. To break that, okay? Homework for tomorrow. Go for free, help a couple people. Go completely out of your own head and just walk up to another person, maybe carry their groceries. Take 2 minutes and carry their groceries. Consciously and proactively. Watch what it does to your brain. Watch how your brain shifts for a minute. Maybe go talk to a homeless person. Let them talk. Give them your time. And you know what they tell you in the Bible? Don't tell anybody. That's the big thing in the Sermon on the Mount. Don't tell anybody. Don't post about it. Don't talk about it. I'll do things sometimes, and then I talk about it. I'm like, oh, I'm ruining it. Okay? You should do things for you. Privately and quietly. It's for you. I remember one time, because I couldn't read eyes very well, my girlfriend in like 2013, I think it was, 2013, 2014, I remember she's like, I really want to sit beside you on the plane. I really want to sit beside you on the plane. And she had a first class seat, and I had a regular seat. And I looked in the guy's eyes as I was going to my regular seat, and I went, oh, he's a Christian. He's going to come give me a seat in a minute. I knew within 2 seconds. This guy's going to come give me a seat in a minute. He didn't have a cross on his neck. I knew he was going to come give me a seat in a minute. I knew. And I was going to feel bad to take it, to be honest with you. But I knew that he wanted to give it to me. I didn't even look him in the eye he didn't even look me back in the eye when I walked by. Sure enough, came and offered me a seat. How'd I know? Because you can see someone's elevation in the eyes, and you know that for him, he is so far transcended the need for a first class seat to be happy. He knows that. Some stupid, oh, you have 2 seats instead of 3 seats. Whoa, whoa, whoa. First class, halo effect, right? They got you so dumb that you're just like living in comparison. 2 seats better than 3 seats. Oh, first class. Pay triple for it. Status. In front of a bunch of people you don't know. Slightly warmer microwave dinner. So, the warm hand towel. So, I knew that guy would do it. So he's allowing the activation of the intelligence of the soul. The intelligence of the soul recognizes that little bit of God's light that I have, that you have, everybody has. So we're all part of each other. So when he's helping me, he's helping himself. That's why they would say in the Bible, do unto others as others would do unto you. Because in doing to others as others would do unto you, that is recognizing yourself and identifying yourself not just as a meat suit, but as a soul. And recognize that soul is in others and that it's one. So yes, we are not God. Do not listen to these new age people that go, we're God, you're God, you're God, you're God. No. Those people are all on psychedelics. They're all on a lot of psychedelics. Do not listen. Okay? Avoid. But you have a spark of God. Okay, look, okay, when you figure out how to go a week without forgetting to tie your shoes, you call yourself God. You let me know you call yourself God. Okay, but you have a little, you're not the sun, but there's a little ray of sunlight. And you have that, right? And so when you identify as that ray of sunlight, as opposed to just your autopilot brain, that's where you enter into the realm of Eckhart Tolle, which is basically saying, I am the witness in consciousness. I am the consciousness behind the autopilot thoughts. So what happens when you identify yourself, not as the running autopilot thoughts that are running you by all the weird, freaky energies that you've been consuming, by the way. The weird, freaky foods you ate, the weird, freaky drugs you did, the weird, freaky alcohol that you drank, the weird, freaky shit that you looked at, the weird, freaky shit you wasted your time on. That's running your autopilot thoughts, right? So any thoughts that you're having is being run by that. So unless you've been very conscious about the influences that you've been exposing yourself to, you should not just be listening only to your brain. What you do instead is you rise above the brain to the awareness behind the thoughts. And then when you rise into the brain, into the awareness behind the thoughts, what happens is you achieve peace, and you're not listening to the autopilot thoughts. And now you can go, okay, I'm off autopilot. What kind of influences do I want to let in? And you're identifying not as the ego or the body, but you're identifying with the soul. And this is sort of a shift that will come with time. And what you'll see is that as you do this, different things energize you. And what you become hungry for is, yes, a great meal. Yes, some good sex. Yes, a vacation. Sure, you'll still have that. You're still in a human body. You deserve that. You should have it. Absolutely, as long as you earn it. But what you'll identify with is also your own awakening. You'll become so hungry for your own awakening, but you'll also become even more hungry for a collective awakening. And this is why in the Bible, Jesus talks about how it's so important, not just for the person who's already awakened to be rewarded, but it's when somebody who was asleep comes back. Somebody who was asleep comes back. That is the big celebration, because that was a lost soul, right? And that's why it's such an important part of our awakening, also to help other people to awaken. It's also so important. That is so key to our awakening, is to help other people to awaken. That is so monumentally important that we do that. Not forcing somebody else to awaken, but setting them love, setting them light, and trying to put them in situations where they can snap out of it. And that will amplify your own awakening as well. Now, why do you begin to crave it? It's actually quite selfish in many ways, guys, because you see this mental sickness and the derangement that other people are under. And as you see the mental sickness and derangement that other people are under, you begin to recognize in yourself. Look, here's a simple reason to be nice to other people and to set off that kind of a chain reaction. Like I keep referring to, the seminar that I did, put 2 fingers up. You start seeing that, and you're like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy in the movie. What's funny is, like, I can say that to all you guys, but for a lot of you guys, if I bring you up here, it's very possible you do the exact same thing. But you know what's kind of cool? When I do seminars like this, if at the end of it I do exercises, actually people do way better because they're more tapped in. That seminar, I didn't tap everybody in. So, okay, I kind of hung them out to dry a little bit because I didn't prepare them. So, but it made a really unique piece of content because we could give them like verbal feedback. But you saw they couldn't listen. So you start seeing the mental derangement. You're like, this sucks. I don't want to be mentally deranged like this. I don't want to be addicted to filth. I don't want to be mentally deranged. I don't want to be living in an actual fucking hell. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. Because I'm so utterly open with people, the vast majority of people that I've ever been very open to have done really bad stuff. And to tell you the truth, I just pity them. I'm like, is this really what human beings do when given the opportunity? This is fucking crazy. But they're only violating themselves. It doesn't hurt me at all. I'm not at a point that I could be easily hurt at this point. It's almost impossible. They do things that would really hurt normal people, though. And when I see that, I'm like, good God, like, are you okay? But that's where most of us are at. Most of your friends will stab you in the back. Most of your friends would fuck your hot girlfriend if they can. Most of your friends will take your money if you leave it out. That's where most people are at. That's probably where most of us in this room are at. Be aware of that. But when people do that and they go into derangement and do that, who are they violating? They're violating themselves. That's why in the Bible it says it's between them and God. You don't need to punish anybody, guys. You don't have to punish. They're punishing themselves. They're going deeper into hell when they betray you. They're going deeper in there. I've watched as people that have betrayed me, and I'm like, please stop, please stop. And their eyes change. You see the change in their eyes, the change in their tone. They've invited something in. So when I see that, I'm like, man, I got to be careful. Like I try to do right by people, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I try to do right by people because I don't want to go in that. I don't think I'm above that. I don't want that to be me. So that's what I'm saying is you get to the point where you're kind of sick with yourself. You start to, if you read a book like The Sermon on the Mount, you see this, you're kind of sick with yourself. You're like, I don't want to be this anymore. Like, I don't want this to be me anymore. I want to be better than this. I want better for myself. I want better for my life. I want better for my children. I want better for my family. You just see life so incredibly differently. And it's not about being some goody-goody or things like that. It's an actual real battle. Like, it's the real gangster shit. That's the real gangster shit. Being a real gangster is not being a blood versus a crib. Being a real gangster is actually beating the hardest opponent that you'll ever beat, which is your own self-deception, the own deception of your mind, and to resonate with things that will truly help you. And the biggest thing, and I was sort of alluding to this before, why do I selfishly want to stay in this state? Here's the main key. One is, without this kind of a mental state, you have no access to your own will. You are literally a bitch boy for some other entity. You are literally a bitch boy for some other entity. That's number one. You are some other entity's bitch. You are being fed upon by an incarnate entity using you for food. You are its absolute bitch. Okay? Like, have you ever seen one of those like parasitic tongues that goes in the fish's mouth and takes over the fish's tongue? It's really disgusting. Okay? Yeah, actually, it literally implants in the tongue, eats the whole tongue, and then eats the food as it's going in until the fish dies and then floats out. You have that on you now. And the thing that you have on you now is way worse than that. You should wish that thing was in your fucking tongue compared to what you're dealing with now. Okay? You remember, I forget the phrase in the Bible where he says, if your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out rather than going to hell. Literally, just put it, if your eye, it's a metaphor, don't do it literally, please. Literally, if you're better off to shove a knife in your own eyeball, rip it out, than to be cast into delusion in hell. You have to understand, once you go into hell, you don't know you're in it. You know when you break your leg? Something goes, leg broken, fix the leg. What happens when this is broken? There's nothing there to recognize it. It's controlling your thoughts. Almost everybody's thoughts are completely controlled, including yours. Including yours. Including yours. Your thoughts are being controlled more than you realize. I'm not saying that I'm here to put the right thoughts in your mind. I'm trying to show you how to get your own thoughts. I'm not trying to show you how you're going to take my thoughts. I'm trying to show you how to get back in touch with your own thoughts. So your will has been consumed. In addition to your will being consumed, your discernment is being fucked with. You can't see reality correctly. That is why right now in the sixth system, we saw this in 2020, literally the people running it, they've got everyone programmed and they talk to them through the programming. And they just take their orders. They just take their orders. And you're looking at this going, how could they be listening to this? This is insane. How could they possibly be listening to this? This is crazy. Okay, so you have to understand, like, this is literally what we're up against. This is literally what we're up against. Like, you're in the system. You're liable to become one of the stormtroopers. You're in the damn system. But in addition, even when you break out of it, it's literally on you to help to wake yourself up and to help other people to wake up so they're not stuck in that system. Okay? And by the way, the tools that they have, if you think it's bad enough that they've got you on mass surveillance on your phone and got you under the dopamine spike of your phone, imagine when the metaverse comes out. I mean, what does it mean when Facebook changes its damn name to Meta? What do they know is going to happen? Who do you think I've coached? What do you think I've seen? Who do you think I've coached? What do you think I've seen? What are things that I'm aware of that would make me concerned for you based on what I've seen? Think there's anything that would maybe make me a little concerned? Okay? I've done a lot of coaching in San Francisco as far back as 2002. Okay? What do you think I've seen? So, might want to have a little heads up. Yeah. You think maybe a little heads up? Can you imagine the things I've seen? So, yeah, if you want to understand the pragmatic parts of that, when I did the dating stuff, I was the top dating guy. They need a little bit of help. Well, who's the top dating guy? I get the call. Man, the things that I've seen. So, Heads up, okay? Man. So the cool thing about this that you need to understand is like, these guys are dipshits. They're dipshits. You're a sleeping giant. They're just gnats. They're just dipshits. Do you understand me? They're just dipshits. You're this baby that's going to grow into this huge thing, and it's like a bunch of little fire ants. You just don't know what it is, that's all. You're enveloped in it, you don't know what it is, so you're vulnerable right now. You're not going to be vulnerable forever. What I'm teaching you here, honestly, if this kind of stuff in general was taught in grade school, we'd already be past it, but it doesn't have to be my exact stuff, but just this genre of stuff. But in addition to that, everybody who I'm around for an extended period of time that really gets it is fucking bulletproof, okay? But you wanna know what's cool about the stuff that I teach? Is this really the stuff that I teach? Or is this a little bit closer to kind of like an open source approach to life? This isn't really Owen content, right? I'm not like, Owen method, step 1. I'm showing you an approach to life. I'm showing you an approach to life. So what I'm trying to demonstrate to you is a few key things. One is, in order to download the highest level paradigms to know what to do, you have to keep yourself in a resonant state to receive it. So all this other remember when I said I just want to have fun, I just want to be 5 years old? If you just want to have fun and you just want to be 5 years old, that's what's going to keep the light in the eyes. I would recommend that you guys go see, a nephew or a niece and look at the light in the eyes and compare it to yours. Compare it to yours and say to yourself, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened to me? What in the fuck is this? You ever remember like your teachers back in grade school, like they're all screaming at the class and they're like, listen, little shits, fucking everyone be quiet. And you're like, and you think to yourself, you imagine that teacher as maybe like a 19-year-old being like, what do you want to take in college? And like, I'm gonna become an elementary school teacher. I'm gonna help children. Fast forward 10 years, shut up, you little shits. I'll fucking kill myself. Go to the principal. The principal is also a fucked up demon, right? So how did they get to this point, right? See, when I look at you guys, I'm a father. I look at you guys like as babies. I imagine your parents. I imagine your parents going, we're pregnant. Oh my God, like a child is coming. This beautiful soul is going to be brought on the earth from us. And how excited your parents were for you. I imagine you as a child. I imagine you with the light in your eyes. But then life happens, right? Life hits, and it hits fucking hard. It really does, and we're not ready. We're not taught the ways to be ready. And, that's been my goal. Why do you guys think I spent so much time raising my kids? I want them to be ready. But let me tell you another thing. Do you think that I raise my kids by explaining to them how to think? Do kids listen to what you tell them to do? Do you guys listen to your parents? What do you do with your parents? You watch them. So it's also something you transmit via osmosis to your kids. You transmit it via osmosis. Do you guys want to be good parents when you're parents someday, if you're not parents yet?
Yes.
So is it maybe even 100x important to get a lot of this type of, in your own way, not just the way I say it, but in your own way, your own ideology, your own approach to life? Is it important to have that down before you have your kids? It's very, very, very important, okay? Very, 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 very important. And you got to realize they're going to inherit your trauma. They're going to inherit your derp state. They're going to inherit the trance that you're in, all that. They're going to inherit every last bit of it, okay? So you're also responsible for that. You can't just, there's no parenting technique, guys. There's called you. There's also no pickup technique, in case you didn't know. There's just fucking you, okay? I haven't picked up a girl in years. It's just fucking me. I turn to the left, and I'm me. That's it. Do you guys really picture me like running game at this point? I'm just fucking me. So we stay in a better vibe to have the energy and the parasites to stop sucking off of us. We stay in a better vibe so that we have control over our own will. We stay in a better vibe so that we can have real discernment and be able to see the world with some degree of accuracy, we stay in a better vibe so that we can have independent access to a transcendent state. When you do not even have access to a transcendent state, a state of bliss or peace, without things outside yourself, you are now a slave. And let me ask you a question. To what extent do you somewhat feel like a slave? How much of your thought energy is even you versus I need this, I need that, gotta handle this, gotta handle that? How much of it is even you? How much of your life is even spent doing that much shit that you even like to really do? Like all this shit, just this flurry of activity. It's just this flurry of activity. I need sex, I need money, I need food, I need status, I need this, I need that. When is it ever just a moment for you? Not just what your body needs from you, but for you to do what you want to do. So that's where things like real friendship, real love for fellow human beings, real creativity, real art. Me doing seminars like this, some free seminars, that is a moment for you to be of service to you, but it's also a moment for me to create. That's what these events are for me, is I say, I'm gonna take a couple days to just create. Or if you've ever seen any of the videos that I've shot in nature, and I have many of them coming out that are pre-shot, I've got a lot of them pre-shot. Maybe me and my friends, we go all the way up to Montana, Wyoming, Oregon, where Colorado, wherever we are, right? We're way up in the mountains. Like, guys, so far deep in the mountains, it's so crazy. Grizzly bears around, nature streams, whitewater rafting, fishing, fireplace, cabin. And I take a week. Imagine if you could just take a week up in Montana to just create. You turn off your phone. That's how I spent almost half a decade. You turn off your phone, fuck the world, even though that, they're there to engage with you and whatnot. I'm not saying that you should hate them, but just for that one moment to do something for you, fuck the world. Turn your phone off and you're just out there with your laptop and you just create. But do you guys see how as adults, we never get that moment for ourselves to just create? It's always treading water and trying to just handle all these plates that we've created that are spinning. We've created our own web that we're stuck in. Remember the movie Fight Club? He says the things that you own, what do? They wind up owning you.
You aren't your khakis.
Yeah, you're not your fucking khakis. Yeah. Yeah, what do you say? Letting go is not a weekend seminar, like all that stuff, right? Yeah. You ever see the little happy hat that I wear, the little smiley face? That's from Fight Club, by the way, where they blow up the building and it's a smiley face. So, okay, this is not a weekend fucking seminar. Well, guess what? Letting go is a weekend fucking seminar now. So, but it's a shift. It's a shift in lifestyle. It's one of the most important films ever made is Fight Club, by the way. One of the most important films ever made. And it's a repudiation of being a zombie to the system, but also showing the chaos that can ensue if it's not directed in a positive direction. It just further cycles of chaos. It's like, yeah, you unplug from the system, but what do you do with it? Blow up a credit card company, right? Like, cut off Tyler Durden's nuts when he tells you, right? Like, that's too crazy, right? So it shows you that he was showing also what can happen. It's just a story, but it's showing you what can happen if we let go of all these social structures, but then we don't, have some other paradigm. It just goes into chaos. So, but the analysis of the structure and the importance of letting go, I think people deeply resonated with, and the acting and the production was incredible in the movie. So anyway, imagine like how much of your life you spend just constantly treading water, right? Like, I bet you every single one of you in this room would kill to be at one of my proper trainings. But most of you in this room are not even in a position to book a flight and to just pay a couple bucks to come and do it. It's the truth. Imagine what you'd learn if you honestly could just get a couple bucks, fly to Los Angeles, and spend 4 days in a proper fucking training. I'm not saying this to give you a hard time, but you guys are already signed up for it. But okay, this, I know you guys are like, was this whole thing just a big upsell, right? But okay, it's like that's all this was, right? But that's a real example. I thought of it and I was like, should I give that example? I'm like, fuck it, I'm giving it. Because I know that all of you that are here want to be there. But you're not even in a position to book a flight, to pay a couple bucks and come and get proper training, because you can't do that beautiful thing for yourself. And it's the same thing like for me, like when I was talking about spending time with my children, right? Like, life is not just about, paying the bills all the time. It's like being in a position where you can take a couple years off, even a half decade off. Like me taking off work from age 40 to 45 Why do you think that's so incredibly important for life? Because like, oh, but your business won't grow as much. Okay, so when do I take the time? When do I get the 5 years off with my children then, guys? What's the better age? Is 45 to 50 the better age? Is 50 to 55 the better age? Is 55 to 60 the better age? Is 60 to 65 the better age, right? I'd be in Denali National Park in Alaska, and you go on a tour bus, and it's all these old people that are so old they don't know what planet they're on. It's like a fucking geriatric bus of people like, and it was cool. It was cool. They're nice people, by the way. Hey, when you're old and it's the geriatric bus, live it up. Go anyway, right? I mean, that's all you got left. Go do it. I want to be in the geriatric bus. Okay, fuck it. I want to be in the fucking geriatric bus. I'm just making the point that I don't want to only be in the geriatric bus. I want to do it when I'm young and old, you know? And so what I'm saying is like that'll be a fun period of my life. I mean, talk about go full retard. I mean, I'm older, I'm going full retard. But what I'm saying is like, you want to have that, like, it was all these older people. Like, where was the young families? They're with their kids, like enjoying the best America has to offer. Where's the young families? Right? So when do you get that 5 years to spend some time on your, now, when you guys see me giving this seminar here, this was also me spending 5 years in nature thinking about all of this. These were a lot of the reflections that I came to up in Montana in the middle of the woods, just like sitting there, writing down. I showed you all the notes that I have, right? So you can ask him for verification. I'm not always just spitting, right? I was like saying to him, I'm like, no, look, I like write notes on this shit, you know, right? I had pages and pages of highly organized notes. And that was written in nature. That's me up in nature, just doing it and saying to myself, what is life? Like hitting 40 and going, what the fuck are we all doing? Like, what the fuck are we all doing? What is, like, we're just in this system, we just go. Like, what is this shit? Who the fuck even am I? Where are we? Like, where the fuck are we? You ever just pause and go, where the fuck is this? Where the fuck are we? Where'd I come from? Am I even real? Like, where the fuck are we? Is this a joke? Is this an AI sim? Where are we? You know, right? So at a certain point, you gotta go, wait, what the fuck is this shit? Okay, no, I'm not doing anything more until I figure out what the fuck's going on here. Okay, that's kind of me at 40, okay? Yeah, I'm just like, until I know what the fuck's going on here, I'm on strike, okay? But unfortunately, we never even get to the point that we can do that, right? So, you know, we build a whole lifestyle where it's like, oh, well, if I work 7 days a week, you know, then I can sustain my lifestyle. I think we should build a lifestyle where we could take half the year off, but we never think to do that. And, you know, you need time in nature to reflect. I mean, what you're hearing here is a defragmenting of time I spent in nature. Just, these were a lot of different thoughts that I had up in Alaska, Montana, and Wyoming, like, that I was inspired to think about, even up in Acadia, Maine, you know, just inspired to think about. In caverns in New Mexico, like Carlsbad Caverns, you know, Guadalupe Park in Texas, just up in the mountains in Texas, just like, I mean, guys, I spent a lot of my last half decade in these places. Like, this isn't even real to me in here. Like, my life is out there. Kind of a side tangent. When people are in LA or San Francisco or Portland or Seattle, they fly in this little metal tube. And they're always kind of in the matrix, so to speak, right? Just try driving the coast someday. Go to the coast. You wanna know what it feels like to me now when I'm in LA? I start off, say, up in Seattle. I drive through the Olympic nature area up in Washington State. Stunning, gorgeous. Maybe I drive through Mount Rainier, drive up into like Cannon Beach, a beautiful beach up in North Oregon with all these huge rocks off the coast. I drive down the coast all through nature, trees, miles of trees. Florence, Oregon, where there's all these beaches that you can go ATVing on. All, you know, through Samuel Boardman, Scenic Corridor, seeing all these beautiful, incredible views. Then you go through Redwood National Park, which goes for miles and miles. It's actually 4 parks combined into one. And, you know, you're in the most beautiful trees in the entire world. Then and you're seeing all these small, cute little towns, Bandon Beach and all these incredible little towns. And it's mostly nature, you know? And then you drive maybe through Mendocino, a beautiful coastal town. I mean, I should be pulling up fucking pictures and videos of this shit. You know, and then you drive a little bit further south, and then you hit this shithole called San Francisco. And there's a bunch of there's a zombie apocalypse, and you're like, what's with the zombie apocalypse? And you're like, and by the way, I love the hills of San Francisco. I love the Golden Gate Bridge. I love the Bay Bridge. There's people out surfing in these like crazy ass devices, these like high-tech devices from all these rich tech guys, like doing all this crazy stuff, and it's really awesome. And, you know, I love all that stuff too. And I love the good parts of San Fran. It's got beautiful fresh air, and it's really beautiful in many ways. But it's also a zombie apocalypse, you know? And then you go, okay, well, that was cool. You know, and then you drive down through Monterey, which is this beautiful town where Clint Eastwood was the mayor, called Carmel by the Sea. And then you drive down Big Sur, and again, it's like these giant cliffs that go for miles and miles. And I think there's a restaurant called like Nepenthe or something. And, you know, there's a little state park there that's beautiful. And you drive down that, you drive into Santa Barbara, and there's like just the beaches are incredible there. And then you go into the zombie apocalypse called Los Angeles. And, you know, now I happen to live in the Hollywood Hills, and it's a very beautiful cordon off part for the elite and the rich and famous and whatnot, and that's fun for me. And it's good networking, and it makes a cool video and shows a cool lifestyle, and I get to go out and have fun and do parties. But overall, you see these little pockets of zombie apocalypse, and you're just like, what the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck is this? So I'm not like, you know, they say be in the world but not of the world? When you drive the country, you realize this is not life. This is not living. But the voting population block is mostly in these zombie apocalypse sites. People that, like the movie WALL-E, that kind of just want to stay unconscious. And the thing is, it's just crazy. And here a key piece. If you could really let this land, like another bomb key piece, they are spiritually in bondage to these places. They can't leave. They can't leave. Like somebody from San Francisco, who's like in the really poor parts of San Fran, cannot go to Redwood, even though it's a short drive. They can't even go to Muirwood, which is a lesser but very beautiful Redwood Park, but not nearly as amazing as Redwood. They can't even cross the bridge to go to Sausalito because they can't resonate with it. By the way, that one statement, like the whole free tour could be, I walk in here, I say the people in the inner city of San Francisco can't go to Sausalito or Muirwood. Anyway, nice seeing you guys, go home. And you could spend 5 years thinking about that one sentence. But I'm dropping so much heavy stuff on you here that you can't, it's like drinking water from a fire hose. I'm doing this to brain dump it so that when I'm dead, people can just go through it. But in truth, everybody should know this. Why can't somebody from a bad, poor part of San Fran just cross the damn bridge and go to the Muirwood, let alone Redwood, which is really a short drive, and basically, like, debatably the most beautiful place in the entire world. Like, would you rather be a billionaire or go to Redwood? Redwood is going to win every time. But because it's free, you won't think of it like that. But because it's too spiritually beautiful, you won't go. You will not allow yourself to go to the Redwood Park unless you can resonate with it. It was weird for me to force myself to go to these places. I was so hooked on the grind of just going out, hitting the club hard, doing big parties, balling out, all that stuff and getting clout. I was so in that for me to even go to some of these places was spiritually overwhelming. It was like, it was crazy. That is why I try to make my friends go, you know, like Luke, for example, he was visiting me in LA. I'm like, please come to Big Bear, come to Big Bear, come to Big Bear, come to Big Bear, please, 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 please. But he couldn't see why I wanted to go because he's the master within the city. And he really is a master. But I'd love to see him become the master outside the city to shift his mind to the next paradigm. And that's the thing is like, we have to, there's another whole paradigm. But ironically, look at the pattern. We're stuck in the city. We're stuck in low vibes. We're stuck in the me paradigm. But it's not even working. It's not actually working. So we're not making the resources that we need to do anything for ourselves. We can't even afford to get out of the damn city. We can't even afford to get a little bit of time for us to reflect, to slow down, to pray, to tap in, to get clarity, to create vision, to have visions. We don't even get the time to do that. And then we're just stuck in this fucking loop. So the cycle's got to break somewhere. And it either breaks in physical cancer in your body, where cancer just infects your body, heart disease, sickness sets in and you just die. Or you got to break that cycle somehow. And, you know, for some of you guys, breaking that cycle could be just literally in this moment saying, fuck it. Like, we're going to make a plan, like here in this group, we're going to do a nature trip next week. You know, and saying, fuck it. Now, 10 guys would all say they're going to go, and 2 would show up. Literally, though. 10 guys would say they're going to go, and 2 would show up. And then those 2 would probably make an excuse not to go too. Well, the other guys didn't go, so I guess it's off, even though they could go. Right? That could be a simple act of kicking it off. Kicking it off could be like creating a small charity drive. Like, we're going to go actually help some homeless people today, even though those homeless people will mindlessly consume it and get nothing out of it, but it's for you. In most cases, but it's for you. It could be something as simple as saying, we're going to go to a comedy show today and just laugh. Right? It could be something as simple as saying, I'm gonna do a social media fast for a week and focus on reading something fucking incredible. You see what I'm saying? But you have 5% control in your brain, and the question is, what are you gonna do with that 5%? And I don't know if it's really 5%, but I'm just kind of, pseudoscience here. But the point is, like, let's just say, you got 5% control in your brain is a way of looking at it. It's just kind of a way of looking at it. With that 5% of control, how are we going to recommandeer more control? Like, how are we going to reclaim consciousness? So imagine that you're at 5%, but you could get to 6% consciousness. Imagine you're at 5% consciousness, you get to 7% consciousness. Imagine you're at 7%, you get to 8%. And you keep clawing. Maybe you're at 43%. Whoa! So, and you just keep reclaiming it. And that is where you see the shift in the eyes. You begin to see the shift in the eyes of somebody who is conscious and somebody who is not. And somebody who has parasitic entities in them that are dragging them down and weighing them down versus somebody who's reclaimed a lot of that consciousness. But here's the thing. It's the space for just you, as in your mind's neural networks running you. Like we said earlier, imagine a millipede trying to manually run with each leg. It's not going to be conscious. It's going to be primarily unconscious and the energies that you've allowed into yourself. So what you have to do, here's the main key to the whole thing, and we're gonna tie it together in a bow. What you have to do is you have to use what limited amount of consciousness that you have to be on an ongoing basis consuming the right foods, the right supplements, the right social media inputs, because there is good social media, the right information, the right vibes, the right laughter, the right actions, and beginning to shift out of the me, shifting out of that state of consciousness, okay? Shifting out of that, and gradually, like Batman in the fucking pit in Batman 3, okay, where he's stuck in that giant pit, you're gonna have to crawl your ass the fuck out of there. And you are in a lot more trouble than you think. I have not said here today how much trouble I believe all of you are in. You are in a lot more trouble than you think. But you have a lot more access to resources, both being here, but also on your own than you think. So you're in more trouble than you think, but you have more access on your own than you think. Now, when I say that, that sounds like some crazy statement. Most people die of fucking self-made diseases, cancer, all sorts of. So even just from the standpoint of basic health, go look how people die, and you'll realize that you're in trouble. Like, I'd actually recommend, like, how do most deaths happen? Most people don't even realize that, okay? Like, that one of the main things as you get older is you have to keep spongy arteries. But you guys have probably not even studied that. Do you realize that when you eat bad food, the plaque that gets deposited in your arteries, you never get rid of it? So the arteries, you just get older, the arteries harden. Even if you're slim and you get a cardiac event, you die. That's why everyone's dying at like 77, right? But you're not even thinking something as simple as that, let alone all the other shit that I'm not talking about. So you're in a lot more trouble than you think, but you have a lot, and by the way, when I say this, like, watch what happens to your friends. Like, watch as your friends' lives all suck. Watch how, if you're not careful, your life will suck. Be careful, okay? Be on alert. I'm a pessimist and optimist at the same time. I believe, like, it's kind of like I said in my speech last week, if you believe you're a retard, you could be a millionaire, right? The path to millions is saying you're retarded. The path to happiness is saying, wait, I'm in a bit of trouble here, but I have tools. I'm smart, I have tools. Forge in the image of God. I have the ability, I have the tools, but it's a narrow road. And so you commit to the narrow road. Now, back in the day, we had church, right? So every single week, you went to church, guy was up at the front, really tapped in, that was his job, got everybody good, got everybody right for the week. We don't have anything like that now. We have church, but is the church fully adapted to modern day? Or is it dying? Right? And the people in it, they're like, no, It's not that it's dying. It's just that the society's corrupted and, it's just they're all bad. So there's going to have to be something else, I guess. Either the church has to, and when I say adapt, I don't mean to lower its morals, but rather what I mean is to look at everything from infrastructure to approach to what's being talked about and so on and so forth. But the church is going to have to recognize the modern day. But in the meantime, what I'd say to you guys, and you may want to go to church, but what I'd say to you guys is you've got to, in many ways, to be your own church. And Jesus talked about that the kingdom of God is also within you. So you have to tap yourself back into this kind of mindset. Imagine if I was just here, and I'm not saying it would have to just be me, but just anyone like myself would just hear, like say it was some other guy with a different point of view, but just awesome. But every fucking week, some guy was just fucking hammering you, right? So that you can't get distracted. But I can't be here next week. Okay, I'm being in Atlanta next week. You can pop by if you want. But I'd actually recommend you guys pop by Atlanta because it'll be all different. But the point being is that like, you have to control what inputs you have going in you, okay? So the basic formula is recognize that you have this shroud around you that's not letting the right inputs in. Humble yourself and ask for help. Begin to shift that shroud is coming from a taker's mentality. Get it to where you're okay. And then as you become okay, what's going to happen is that shroud will begin to lift because you have a proper flow of energy. Rather than being take, you're giving, but also receiving too. Giving. The shroud will clear up. You will now be able to see into what other people need. You'll probably go on to become one of the most incredible marketers in history because almost nobody's doing this. I mean, literally, with the approach I'm showing you, could be one of the most incredible marketers in history. Go on to become one of the most incredible public speakers in history. Do you guys notice almost every public speaker I've ever trained is incredible? Guys, I can have my cameraman run seminar. I could have my sales team run seminar. I could have my kid run the damn seminar. It's a paradigm. So get this down, you'll become a better public speaker. You'll get better at dating. You'll get better at meeting people. You'll get better at socializing. You'll get better at marketing. You'll get better at creating great products. You'll get better at taking care of yourself. So now money starts coming in. Now it's actually easier to be in a higher paradigm because it's an upward spiral because you're less thirsty because you have what you want. But also you got in the right headspace before getting it. You know the problem with like the rich kid? They never have to get in the right headspace and they just get it. Isn't it a beautiful gift that you won't get the money until you shift your headspace? Isn't that a gift? Aren't you lucky you weren't born rich? Aren't you fucking lucky that God didn't condemn you to be born rich? Imagine the condemnation that you could have had being born rich. Aren't you fucking lucky? Because you know damn well that if you shift your mindset and you just shift your habits, you're gonna be rich. Obviously. There's too much money around. There's too much consumer brainwashed zombie culture to be otherwise. You also know that if you just shift your brain around, you're going to get insane social skills. Obviously. I mean, there's too much feminist conditioning with the girls are like, I fucked him. So obviously, you're going to be able to get a date, get an amazing girlfriend, amazing significant other. So you know you're going to win. So isn't it nice that the system's so beautiful that you don't get the universe doesn't give you what you want? What's it give you? The universe gives you what you need. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. That it's set up so balanced and so perfect that you have that given to you as a gift. But we have to embrace that. We have to get back on the narrow road. We have to embrace the light. From my perspective, we have to go back to God. I know that's a tough one for some people, but that's my perspective. We have to go back to God. We have to humble ourselves, get on the narrow road. And what happens is that we can live an amazing life. And you create, in many ways, not perfect, but like a heaven on earth. Okay, so in other words, are you resonating with the energy from hell or from above? And whatever you're resonating with, your life starts to resemble that. Maybe you stop getting sick. Maybe you start laughing all the time. Maybe you travel all the time. Maybe you have more time off. Maybe you're dating better people. Maybe you get a better significant other. Maybe you have incredible kids. Things just get better, you know? And I really believe that at the top of all this, you get to the point that you want transcendence so bad, I actually believe they come kill you. Okay? I believe that. But that's where you're just spiritually, you're just so, you're shining so bright that you're not meant for this dimension anymore, right? I actually believe that's what happened to Kobe. Look, if you actually look at this world that we're in now, is Kobe a match for this? No. Kobe wasn't meant to be here. Right? His soul is too beautiful. Wasn't meant to be here. Right? And so I believe that. I believe that, you know, if you evolve really quick, you go to the next dimension. That's my personal view. I don't have proof of that, okay? I didn't like go to another dimension, see it, and come back and tell you. But that's my personal view. That's what I intuitively sense. When you're, there you go. It's like when you're in nature, it's just you're in nature long enough, this starts to make sense to you. You know? I have months-long periods where I'm not in all this shit. Do you guys understand? I'm in real life. Guys, this isn't real life. You're not in real life right now. This isn't real life. This wasn't real life. This isn't real life. This never will be real life. Okay? This is some weird thing that you're in as a battery. Okay? This is not real life. This is not real wealth. Real wealth is not having the best mansion in the hamster cage. That's not real wealth. Real wealth is out there. Do you understand? Real wealth is your children, your family, your love, your spirit. That's real wealth. Okay? Yeah, it's not in the hamster cage. You understand? But again, what I try to show people is by having mastery within the hamster cage, I'm like, I'm the hamster that goes, look, I've got mastery in the hamster cage, but there's something outside the hamster cage. Right? I'm not coming at you like, no, I don't know how to survive in the hamster cage, so I deny the hamster cage and I just go out here. No, I'm like, yo, I'm killing the hamster cage. I'm like the hamster, like jumping from treadmill to treadmill and fucking jumping around. I'm like, yo, I fucking run this hamster cage, and it sucks. Okay? So like one of the reasons why I keep like a fat crib in the Hollywood Hills is just to make the point, like, I'm not saying that this sucks because I can't get it. Okay? I wear a diamond bracelet, not just so that I can show you. I'm not saying this sucks because I can't master it. This is a joke. Making money is a joke. Okay? The social skills I taught over the years is a joke. It can be learned in a day. Okay? This stuff can be learned in days. You need to understand this. It's a fucking joke. But the mind has to be working properly. Right? So that's the foundation of everything. The mind has to be working properly. You've got to have your mind able, like when you hear the answer to the test, you take it and you implement it and you resonate with it and you want it. Remember when I was showing the gates of the Arctic video yesterday? So to get to the gates of the Arctic, you gotta want it bad, right? And that's the key to this, is like, you've got to resonate with it and you've got to want it bad. And I understand that a lot of what I'm saying is off the wall, but I hope that what I'm saying is like the real, like more real than real. Sometimes I will never do DMT, but a lot of people do DMT. I would recommend you never do it. But a lot of people do DMT and they'll say, it feels more real than real. I'm trying to point out to you guys what to me and what I think to you is more real than real. I'm not trying to show you something new. I'm trying to point you to something that you always were aware of. What I would hope in the seminar is there's not a single new piece of information for you here. Everything I said here tonight, you already knew. You were just frame controlled out of it. It's like when you got this girlfriend who's being a fucking bitch to you, and you're just like, I guess I suck. You know, then you break up, you're like, wait a minute, I don't suck. Right? You already knew you're fucking awesome. You already knew you're the shit. You already knew you're a child of God. You already knew life's fucking awesome. You already knew what you're capable of. You already knew that you can let bullshit influences in or good influences in. You already know how much of your mind is running you and that you have to take control of that. You already knew this. But I'm trying to bring you back to the awareness of it. I'm like the guy, like, you had the bitch girlfriend. If you're a girl, you know, you had a mean boyfriend. And then, you know, you broke up. And I'm just dumping water in your head. I'm like, dude, you're the fucking man. Remember, like, Vince Vaughn in the movie Swingers? He's like, you're so money you don't even know it, baby. Right? And if you remember that when he finally lets go of his girlfriend, Heather Graham, that's when she calls him back, right? And that's a powerful lesson about life. So what I'm trying to point out to you is how fucking awesome you are, but you got frame controlled out of it, okay? And I believe in you 1,000%. Sometimes all you need is one person to believe in you to remember who you are. Just one, to relight the candle and remember who you are. And that's me. I believe in you 1,000%. But remember, it's not just me that believes in you. God believes in you. So you're so fucking amazing. You have no idea. You have such high potential. You have no idea. You have no clue what you're capable of. And being in America and being a part of the American tradition, you have no idea. I'm saying this as a Canadian. You have no idea what tradition you're part of. A tradition of freedom. And you've got to protect that. Okay? Forge in the creation. Forge in the image of God. in the greatest country that's ever existed, the country that brought freedom to the world. That is your destiny that you have in front of you. The question is, what are you going to do with it? And it's a wide open road. So which direction you want to go? That's all I have to say tonight. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks so much.